Hello and welcome to episode 132 of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me, as always, is the fine wine himself, Mr. Philip Hoy.
And we're online again. This is weird, boys. I'm not sure I like this, because I didn't get the invite to come round this time round. Have we just gone back to the old ways and now we're just online?
I think it's mostly online, yeah. I think, depending on the days that we do it as well, like, we're recording on a Thursday, we're recording earlier because I'm going away for the weekend. I think it makes it a little bit more awkward, and at least with remote, it gives us more flexibility.
He's chatting shit. I'll tell you right now, he's got a blowjob machine. He doesn't want anyone coming over, man.
He only uses his finger on that machine, he told me.
Yeah.
Goes wild, mind, on his finger.
It's wild. It's wild. Next time you come round, welcome to have a blast on it. And that will be in 2 weeks. That will be in 2 weeks because we are recording the big quiz in 2 weeks' time. Easter weekend is coming to us. And it won't just be the resurrection of Christ on that weekend. It'll be the resurrection of all of us because that fucking Saturday is going to be a write-off, boys. So that Easter Sunday is going to be just like Jesus Christ. Rising up from the crypt will be like us because that Saturday, unless we get back on it, which would be wild, which we could do. Could head over to the bush, get on it. Otherwise, it's going to be a fucking tough old weekend. We'll be hanging on for dear life. The Holy Spirit will be coming down and it'll be pulling away at us and be like, no, don't take me. I'm not ready. I'm
too young.
I'm too young
to die.
I'm still not reached the peak yet. I'm not at the summit. And and you've heard his voice already. Young Spencer Davis is with us as well. How you doing, my mate?
I'm good. I got a little bit of beef from last step. That's right. I listened to it.
Oh my God.
There was a section you boys talking about the new God of War from Amazon and about how the beer's not very good. And for some reason, Davey just does a little drive-by and says, like, what if it was Spence? Spence can't grow a beard for shit. What the hell?
You can't though, bro, can you?
No, yeah, of course you're right, but you don't need to say it, mate.
It wasn't throwing shade, dude. It was just it was an honest observation, it's just one of those things, mate. You got a great mustache and you got a great goatee.
Oh, he's walking it back. But this is what happens when you skip an episode. You become a target, unfortunately, Spence. I've been away. You've been away. Dave will never be away because he's the host of the most and he has to be on every show. That's an unwritten rule that we abide by.
Yeah, he's in the contract, didn't he?
That's the only reason we do these shows is because he tells us he will be here every single time and he'll write a doc that we can recite and we'll, form some nice videos from. But for us, if we're ever away, we become the target and we accept that, Spencer. But I don't even remember him making that jab because there were so many jabs, if I remember rightly. I think you come up quite a bit, Spence, in the last episode.
Not when I'd expect, though, to be fair. I thought there's a whole conversation about a blowjob machine and not once my name. I was like, what the hell?
It was just so obvious, mate.
Yeah.
We all know that you'll be the first one trying that bad boy out. You can give a rating on episode 134. You can give a review of it.
Your rate?
Out of 10. Yeah.
Live on the big quiz.
Yeah, do it on the big quiz. My quiz is just me getting sucked off. Who can watch the longest?
Who can laugh the longest?
God.
Who can watch without turning away the longest? Whoever stays till the end wins 5 points.
No, we all just have a go, mate, and whoever laughs longest wins.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going first?
Well,
me.
Well, let me just put it out there. Like, after a few drinks, I get proper whiskey dick. So I'll be lasting forever because nothing's going to happen. It would just be like fumbling at the end. Like vibrating away the tip, bro, because I can't get it in. Be thumbing
that's
it in.
where we start cheating and I'll get under the balls and try and help it along.
Jesus Christ. Well, I did not expect this episode to start like this. This is In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast, and we are here to absolutely juice the living shit out of you because this episode is a juicer, just like they all are. This one is wild. We got so much to go through today. So many pieces of news. We got loads we're actually going to talk about with what we've been playing because we can actually talk now. The fucking Triforce is back. All three of us. We can talk about Resident Evil 9 and Marathon, which I'll be looking forward to unpacking with you boys. And we got a whole host of really exciting news when it comes to release dates, some good court stuff that's happened with Subnautica 2. And then we're going to end today with a listener question, just like we did last time, because we had quite a few submissions. But first, we always kick off with a question. This one is from the audience, okay?
Wow.
Now, just a bit of context for you boys and for the audience as well. This question's a long one. It's submitted by Nebs, right? And Neb, and he sent me a load of instructions. Now, before I get into that, I shared with each of you 2 separate lists that you've each got uniquely. You don't know what the context is behind these lists, but have you picked games or genres or whatever you had from those lists? Have you got them ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Are mine and Spencer's lists different then?
That's what
They
I'm
are.
noticing as well. What the hell?
Oh,
They are
okay.
very different.
Yeah, intriguing.
So, Phil, I want your first one from your list, your first list. What is it, please? What did you pick?
The first one I picked, purely because I haven't played one in a while, and I'm longing for some more Death Stranding, just to thumb that game into the conversation.
Of course.
But I'm going to go for open world as my pick.
All right. Spence, what did you pick from your list, your first list?
Okay, so the thing I picked from the first list was Ratchet and Clank.
Okay. Phil, what was the thing you picked off your second list?
Okay, I picked, obviously, the boy, Leon Kennedy himself.
And Spencer, what was the thing you picked off your second list?
Resident Evil.
Okay.
Are we fans or weird?
Who knows?
So let me get this right. So we got a open world,
Correct.
Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Just writing these down. Leon Kennedy, Resident Evil. Okay. Right. So let me read out the actual question for you, okay? And this will be the full context for it. So Neb messaged me privately on Discord, and he said, so a little context. I run a restaurant, which is sometimes fucking manic, and we do many covers. I work with 2 brilliant chefs who are also great friends, and we've gamed together as a trio for years. So sometimes when it's busy, we do what we now call quick-fire games. I'd walk through the kitchen and shout maybe RPG, which would get the response of Metroidvania, followed by Nathan Drake, and finally back to me for S.A. Cabal, which are the enemies from Destiny. We then spend the day chatting shit about the game we invented. Now, I know on a podcast it's way harder to do this, but wondered if you get the guys to pick from a list, creating a game you could then all chat about. So the game that you boys have unintentionally created is an open world Ratchet and Clank based game. So it's an open world in the world of Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
You're playing as Leon Kennedy and you're facing Resident Evil enemies. So it's a Resident Evil game, open world, based in the world of Ratchet and Clank. How does that tickle your fancy?
I don't think we've done that badly, but it's quite difficult to think about that actually being a reality, because open world and Resident Evil is something that we've all turned our nose up at points in different conversations around what we want from a Resident Evil series. And that's why I thought it'd be quite fun to put those two together, because I didn't know where we were going with this. But now I've picked those two, I feel partly responsible. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Spence?
I thought the list was going to be the world you live in, the disaster that happens to it. Because then my second list was all like things where disasters have happened. And I was like, okay, I know what he's on about. This is way off. My God, I wouldn't buy this game.
I quite like the idea with it, though, that when you kill zombies, instead of it being like money that drops, it would be like bolts. Just like on Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. And Leon's got crazy ass guns because he'd be in the universe of Ratchet and Clank. So he could use like the disco gun.
The Groovatron.
The Groovatron, yeah. And he could use shit like that on zombies, lickers.
You'd have dancing zombies and lickers and tyrants and all sorts, couldn't you?
In my head, all I'm seeing is like a Dynasty Warriors, but you play as Leon. That's all I'm seeing, and I hate those games.
Yeah, do you know what? Actually, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of getting those kind of vibes. I can't imagine there being much platforming in this, but there'd be a lot of shooting and a lot of enemies.
Yeah, Leon's mobility, as quick as he is on the ground, he takes an age to climb a ladder, doesn't he? You know, the amount of effort in the latest one to find those ladders and to climb them, it really slows down the pace of the game. So in a Ratchet and Clank world where there's lots of traversal and moving from A to B quite quickly on different levels, I don't think Leon's going to be that capable. I'll have to be honest. He's going to need some assistance, isn't he? Now, does he get Clank, or is it just Leon here?
Well, the protagonist is just Leon. But
Okay.
in terms of other people, I don't see why not. He's in the universe of Ratchet and Clank.
Can he have Clank on his back?
Why not?
Because if he gets Clank on his back, much better, because he'll be able to fly.
Yeah, but not only that.
Hover.
He'd also have like the boots that Ratchet has that lets him skate around everywhere lickety quick. You know, he'd have everything. Anything at Ratchet's disposal, imagine him in Leon's hands, bro. You know what? I think he wouldn't even need the ladders. He'd just get up there.
That is true, and he'd be quipping at everything, wouldn't he? As witty as, you know, Ratchet sometimes is at Clank, but he's very much the straight man, isn't he, Ratchet?
Yeah.
Clank is the comedy. But with Leon, he brings the comedy in his very unique kind of style that we're accustomed to now with Resident Evil games. He has grown from just the one or two witty comments to literally every time he does a move.
Yeah, every other
in
line.
the game. Every other line, yes.
Well,
Does my nut in that.
I got to agree. I think that this game would suck ass. I think it's a bad mashup. If we were to have another go at it again, right? And the list, I'll put the full list into our chat here on Riverside, so you guys can see it. Public chat. Right. So, with this, let's give this another go, and I'll join in as well, right?
Okie doke.
So, Phil, why don't we go round from yourself to Spencer to me? Oh no, actually, let's start. What are we doing? That's a crazy style. Spence, you always start. Spence, Phil, me.
What am I picking then? The kind of genre of game.
So you
You've
start
got
with
style
style
of
of game. Style of game.
Let's go. What's the genre I want right now? We could make this cool. Let's go for like a DMC style hack and slash.
Okay, hack and slash. And you don't have to use the same ones on the list, Phil, so you can go anywhere with this.
I was going to say there's 4 in the list, and that's none of them.
No.
Make it up,
So you got style of game, universe setting, protagonist, and enemies. All right. So we got a hack and slash. You got universe and setting.
All right, then. Well, I'm just going to obviously pick Death Stranding, aren't I, for universe? It's one of the most unique universes out there, and literally anything can happen. And anything did happen in DS2. He just included everything from every game and put it into DS2. So, yeah, let's go DS2 for that one.
All right. So I want to have this. This is a hack and slasher, and we're in Death Stranding 2's world. Why not? Let's just put fucking Kratos in it. Just put Kratos in there. The style will fit, and why not? He can get through the tar and absolutely start chopping some watchers' heads off. That'd be absolutely fine. And then enemies. What are we talking here? Back around to you, Spence. What kind of enemies are we facing here in this Death Stranding hack and slasher with Kratos?
Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, giant things.
Giants.
Mate, fuck. Yeah, do you know what? I'd fuck with that. I'd fuck with that a lot more.
That sounds like a game, doesn't it?
That sounds like a fucking adventure. I tell you what. A hack
Imagine
and slashing.
Kratos on a little motorbike going round, traveling from A to B, upgrading his little porters.
Delivering his
It'd
parcels.
be great. Delivering his parcels and then killing massive monsters. I mean, there are massive monsters in Death Stranding, but generally, you stand back and let something else kill them a lot of the time because it's glorified Pokemon. But if you're getting up close and personal, now that is a game.
I think that's much better, boys. I think we nailed it.
Yeah, second time.
The second time round.
When we knew what we were doing.
Yes, yeah. I
Yeah.
quite like the
Easier,
mystery.
right?
I wanted to see where it would go, like what kind of things that we'd end up with a mashup.
Mm.
But there we go. Thank you ever so much, Neb, for writing in. Really, really appreciate that. Nice little game for us to play as well. So I really, really do appreciate that. But audience, if you want to be involved with the show, best way is to go on the Discord. Links are all in the description. Discord's popping off at the moment, so why not get involved with the community? It's where I'm taking all the questions from going forward. So get in there, get your questions in, and you can be featured on the show. But with that, we shall move on to what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last podcast and 4 weeks since I've spoken to yourself, Spencer, so I'm desperate to know what you've been playing. Spence, kick it off as always, fam. What have you been up to?
All right, I'll get the quick little shitty ones out the way first, and then we'll discuss. Well, the big boys we'll talk in a group, I think.
Yeah,
But
I imagine.
my little ones, let me begin. So, games with mates to start. So, the games I played with my mates, Dan and Kyle. We were playing RE1 Director's Cut.
What a
We are
game.
now
Right.
finished with that. It took us a long time for many reasons. And whilst we were away in Treco, we were going to start MGS3. But we made an executive decision, beat RE1 first. And then we never started MGS3. But we did beat RE1. And it holds up, bro.
It's so good, isn't it?
So bloody good. And I just didn't know about Director's Cut. I didn't know anything about it. I was like, when are the Crimson Heads? When's Lisa Trevor?
Oh,
Not
wow.
prevalent in there. It's not there.
So does that, now that you've played that, now you've played Director's Cut, because for my YouTube, I remember I did, one of the first games I did on my YouTube when I was doing the Resident Evil series was Resident Evil Remake, and I went back, and one of the last ones I did was a look at Director's Cut, because it'd been a long time since I played Resident Evil 1 Original. I'd never played Director's Cut before, and I fucking loved it. I thought it was brilliant, especially with like how the items are changed locations from, like, especially if you do a normal run and then you do the altered mode. Did you do any of that content?
No, mate, not a chance. Not with these people.
Really?
It took us ages just to beat the game with a lot of scumbaggery with the rewind. So much of it. There was no chance we were doing an altered. We didn't know where anything was anyway. It was
Oh man.
diabolical,
yeah.
mate. And anytime the
Yeah.
pad left my hands, we'd lose all our healing items.
Oh Jesus Christ.
Awful, mate. It was awful. It was a tough watch, I'll be honest. And maybe the longest it's taken anyone to beat RE1 ever.
What was the thing that was letting you down then, Spence? Obviously, we're talking about the skills of the other two lads that were playing with you. Was it purely the difficulty of the game, or was it play an older game? Was it a struggle with kind of like tank controls and the adapting to the graphics, because they're not the best to be playing now?
The graphics were fine, I'd say. The graphics were really, really okay. And Kyle, I'll say Kyle was fine. Kyle actually surprised me here and there with his kind of schmooving past the zombies. I was like, hey, this lad gets it. And he recently
You got to do the
platinumed.
dip, haven't you?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
walk
yeah.
one way, they go, and then you
Ooh, you know what I'm
round the
saying?
next one. Yeah.
And he's recently platinumed Village, and I was like, this guy plays Resident Evil. Okay, and then Dan would get the pad. Guy doesn't play Resident Evil. And he immediately, first thing he said was fucking tank controls. And I was like, this guy just doesn't get it, bro.
Oh man.
Doesn't get it, man. And then you just watch him just run like at a wall.
Oh no, really
You
just
know?
couldn't figure it out. Just couldn't get it.
And like, we're like
Twisting.
end game. And I'm like, bro, come on. But it's fine. It's fine. He did try his best, and he definitely got better towards the end. He did get better. But
So here's a question for you. Obviously, it's been a while since you played Remake, right? For Resident Evil Remake. Do you have like an urge at the moment to want to play Remake after playing Director's Cut to be able to like see the difference of how much has kind of been improved, or is that already kind of in the memory while you were playing Director's Cut?
it was kind of already in the memory because I was thinking about when would this happen from Remake, and obviously it never did. So that's where the differences happen anyway. But then it did. I did want to play our Remake after it as well, but obviously due to what I have been playing, which
Yeah.
is the new one, I'm not playing our Remake. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I'm playing at something else. So I did get that feeling though. I did want to.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing for me. When I finished Director's Cut, again, like I already knew how much Remake had improved the game, right? Like in terms of how much extra content there was, how much they fleshed loads of story bits out. Like there was so much there, and I already knew that when I played Remake. But after I played Director's Cut again, I was like, Jesus Christ, the level of Remake that Remake is just so phenomenal. It put it into an even brighter light than I even had it in before. You know, it was already lit up to the fucking moon and back. And afterwards, it might as well have been a fucking star, because I was just like, Jesus Christ. Like, we don't get remakes of this kind of caliber, you know? It's just so fucking good. But no, great to hear it, mate. Well, moving quickly on before we spend the entire fucking 45 minutes just
chatting about
reminiscing about RE1. What else have you been playing, dude?
Okay, so next I'll talk about very, very briefly, because you already mentioned it last episode. High Guard. Game is going to die. Oh, is it dead? Is it dead?
Dead
yet?
already.
It's
Dead already. It's dead.
mate.
Rip.
You need a T-shirt like Davey's Concord T-shirt.
Yeah. And then we said you'd get the marathon one, but that ain't happening. Or maybe it is. I'll wait
with
for
like
our thoughts.
with question marks afterwards. You know,
Yeah.
like the launch date question marks.
Question mark.
Who knows?
Ooh. But High Guard, dead. Did get my platinum. Davey, you kind of leaked it last step, but that's okay. I honestly don't mind.
Ooh, that's a platinum.
Got the platty, baby.
Congratulations, Spence. I heard all
Well
about
done.
it.
Yeah.
All skill, obviously.
Yeah, of course, mate. Of course, yeah. I was too busy. This was the harder for me than everyone else, because I was too busy being good.
You're too
I
busy
was-
killing.
Too busy killing. I wasn't going for these objectives. So when it came time for the game to die, I had so much fucking stuff left to do. But Davey, the generous man he is, helped me achieve this. And then, got it. I was going into ranked games because it was the only game you could find the match in, because no one was playing it. And I'd immediately be in the voice chat being like, lads, please, if they get in our base, just let me defuse and I will win this game for you. Please, I beg. Please. And then it happened. And then I let the other team win so fast. I did not hold that promise.
Did High Guard get a physical release?
No.
Oh, no.
No, it was free to play,
It's
wasn't
free
it?
to play. Yeah.
So it never made it to this, like even like
No,
as a
you
limited run or
No,
something
no.
like that. No,
No.
I was going to say you could go next to your Concord disc, Davey.
Oh no! If it was paid for, then to be fair, I probably got my money's worth out of it if I did buy it. You know, if it was like 20 quid or whatever, I probably wouldn't be
They
salty
would have
about it.
refunded.
refunded,
Yeah.
wouldn't they? The same as Concord. We got a refund.
Everyone,
For the digital.
Yeah, everyone who purchased anything in game got a refund.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that. I thought that anyone who bought skins, which I never saw anyone with a skin ever. But if they did, I would have thought that would just be money down the drain.
Mate, you missed out on the Gold Panther. Meow.
Meow. We were using beers in the end.
Oh,
we unlocked
beers.
the first one on the free battle pass. We went to the Beer Boys.
The Bear Boys. Yeah, nice. Wonder what that says about you.
Yeah.
Very manly.
Yeah,
Talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
on beers.
yeah, beers with a little crown on. Class.
Nice.
So
Woohoo.
what else, Spence? You got fucking a list in this doc. by the looks
Yeah,
of
I
it.
know. Yeah. So I'll just go very quickly. These are Dispatch. Obviously, you guys know I was playing that. I had one run left. I was very close to the end. It's done. Another platinum.
Wow. Racking them up, mate.
that's a
Racking them up.
There we go.
Congrats, hun.
Yeah, and then Venba was one of the games added to the game catalog last month, and we looked it up, and it was a very, very cute game where you cook some Indian dishes. What were they? Was it tamal? I think it's tamal they're called. And it's just like respecting your religion. That's basically what the game's about, and it's about a family. The mum's called Venba, and it's her and her husband. Then the son leaves, and obviously because he's been raised not in India, he doesn't really respect his religion. And then it gets to a point his dad dies. I'm spoiling all this, but it's like
Oh,
an
wow.
hour game, and it's not that, play it. It's good though, but emotional game, and it'll leave you wanting to text your mum and see if she's okay, or call your mum.
Oh,
It was
Wow.
very, very
That's
sweet.
cute.
But the important thing is, I got the platinum.
Ooh, that's a platinum.
oh, triple platties. Jesus,
My hands are
Christ.
hurting after all this clapping.
I
But
know,
Spence,
mate.
I want to know, did you learn to respect your religion?
I don't really have one, mate.
No? You're not
I don't
bowing
have one.
down to anything?
Well, I'm Catholic born, but I'm like, who fucking cares, man?
Yeah, I'm not religious at all.
If I'm anything, I'm agnostic.
There you
Because
go.
who cares, bro?
Same, mate.
But
Worry about
if
it when
you
you're
are
dead, innit?
religious, I got no beef for you. You
No.
carry on. You do what you want to do. But, I'm all right. I'll pray to Spider-Man.
Each their own. Each their own in there.
Yeah, of course. Everyone's your own person. But that's Venba. And then whilst at Treco, we had a bit of downtime the one day. And I was like, download Dark Souls. Sod it. I'm just going to try and play a little bit. I think they downloaded it for someone else to just start a run. And then the one morning, I thought, I'm just going to log into my account and see where I'm at. I had 2 miracles left to get and beat the game. Oh no, I'd already beaten the game, so I had 2 miracles left to get. So I had to save Siegmeyer, get him to Firelink, got a miracle from him, and then go to the Praise the Sun.
Yep.
Yeah, go to that statue, give them Gwendolyn's soul for another miracle. Done both of those, got the platinum.
Hey!
Awesome platinum.
Great, dude. You've been working on that
Quadruple.
for ages, man. You've been working on that for
Absolutely
such a long time.
Ages. And I was hoping I could get a 5th play along the way. I know these aren't bad plays as well. I was actually quite chuffed with this.
Yeah, decent.
But yeah, it's just those 4. And I've not done, everything else I've been playing is, we're about to discuss it.
Nice, mate.
It's been a good few weeks.
Mate.
Weeks. I'm very chuffed.
Very productive, mate. And I think that's the all-time high, that is, for in terms of amount of platinums in one episode by one person. I think that's the new record. We've had a couple of 3-peats, and we had a couple of times. I think the first ever record that did a 3-peat was you with like Chicken on the Run
they
and
didn't
some other
count.
bollock shit.
Not all platinums are created equally, are they?
They're certainly
let's
not.
be real.
They're
But
certainly
these
not.
are good. Other than Vemba's a bit of a cheeky one, but it was a beautiful game.
But that's the thing. It doesn't matter. It's like Barry the Bunny, mate. Great little game. Great
Yeah.
little game. Yeah, exactly like Barry the Bunny. All like Peppa Pig. Great little game, that.
Great little game, little Pepper, little Pepper Pig.
Well, before we come to yourself, Mr. Hoy, because the games you got on the list are the ones we're going to talk about as a group. I've got one update to give, and that's on Split Fiction. So me and Cassian finally finished it. I cannot click the platinum bell at the moment. We got 2 trophies left to go, so I'm on that really, really close. But we haven't finished that off. I got to say, after finishing it, the ending is much better than the start. And not like It Takes Two. It Takes Two was the story got better, and I enjoyed the game more. The story here, I don't think really improves much.
Okay.
But the ending in terms of it's just fucking genius what they managed to do. And I want to tell you, but I kind of don't, because I know that you and me will play it at some point, Spence. But it's just really fucking cool. And I honestly, from a technical level, I don't know how they did it. I honestly really don't. But I was wowed by it. Like, absolutely jaw on the floor, wowed by it. It's not a very impressive, graphically intense game by any stretch or form. But in terms of how they did the ending section, I don't know how it's possible to work. I don't get it. And I was absolutely blown away by it. And it was the first time that I was like, wow, this is a level of creativity that I was kind of expecting for out of the game. And it never really delivered that until the ending. And it was like fucking miles up. So I'm still sticking on 8 out of 10 overall. I think it's worse than It Takes Two in every single metric. But I did really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to going back now with Cassie. We got a couple of challenges to do. There's one we got to do for a trophy, which is riding on the back of a bike and solving the puzzle. We got to do that. We got to sit on all the benches. We've missed a bench somewhere. So we got to go and play a chapter and find which one that is. And then we've done it. We got the play. So we're super, super close. So by next episode, hopefully, if me and Cassie aren't playing Goat Simulator, which is what he wants me to play all the time at the moment, if we're not playing that, then hopefully I'll have the platinum for this. But yeah, it hasn't really changed my mind too much. I still think it's an 8 out of 10 experience. But let's get on to some big juices, shall we? Let's start with Marathon, boys.
Okay.
So I'll start with myself just very quickly in terms of just an update that out of the 3 of us, unless something's changed radically over the next day or so, over the last day or so where I haven't been on, I've put the most hours in here. I'm sitting at level 32, something like that now. I've played quite a bit. And when you guys weren't on the other night, met up with a guy that we've met online playing this. Shout out to a Busy Bee. Absolute fucking legend.
He is.
We've had so many good sessions with him, Spence, over this last week. Absolute top lad. And been putting in some fucking crazy work. Just want to put that out there in terms of my hours played. I think I'm probably, I don't know, 15, 16 hours in, maybe more. I don't actually know, but I know it would be the most out of the three of us. I think secondly from there, yourself and Phil probably tying up around about now, I would have thought, although you haven't played too much together. So let's come to yourself, Spence, for your thoughts, because the audience and us haven't really heard your thoughts.
Not yet.
Spill the beans, bro, and we'll go wherever this goes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how in depth to go. So obviously, everyone. Do I even explain what the game is? Everyone knows what the game is.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much, but
Yeah, Marathon. I am kind of. How do I even word this? I don't think I'm as into it as you guys are, which is a damn shame. But in the same way, I think I will be. Because I keep my entire TikTok page, every single TikTok is Marathon, and everything is like new information that you'd never have thought would work, and just like different little tips and stuff and ways the game works that you wouldn't expect it to. And the more I'm learning about the game, the more I'm just like, wow, I could really love this game. But I'm not sure if I do. And it's not an awful thing to say, obviously, it's my opinion's my opinion. But I want to love this game. And I think the more time I put into it, and this is the kind of game it is, the more time you give it, the more the game will give back. And I think I will love it down the road. But I've not had as much opportunity to play it as I'd have wanted. But that's the way it's gone. I think the game's fantastic. Gunplay is brilliant. The stamina's a bit, but you get used to it. The overheating mechanic, and obviously it's there for a reason. You end up upgrading that and stuff. Guns are all very good. There's a few naff ones, but generally they're all really good. The Vandal, which is the shell I play, is fantastic. Although I do not utilize her abilities anywhere near enough. So I probably should play a different shell, but it is what it is. Probably play a bit of Thief, maybe. Who knows? And so far, I've just been a little loot goblin, mate. Just getting all them purples, man. My loadout's worth like 30, 40k, I think, which isn't that much.
in your vault, not your loadout.
Yeah, vault. My vault.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
your loadout.
On a liar loadout.
Jesus Christ, it'd be wild if that was your loadout. All golds, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Be nuts. But
Not had
yeah.
one gold yet.
One cool thing happened with us that I mean I gotta say for myself, and I'll come to you in a moment, Phil. I am hook, line, and sinker on this. Like, I'm so invested in it right now, and we'll come on to the other game we've been playing in a moment in terms of Resident Evil 9. I can't be fucked to go back for a round 2. I really can't. Every time I get a spare moment, I'm on Marathon. And I've literally not even done my vault's getting too full because we've just been exfilling all the time, that I've just been running in solo. Going on with crew fill on, just with random people. And the thing that I've noticed is the community is fucking great. I went into a match the other day that was just me. I was waiting, nobody else was on, and I was just like, fuck, I want to play. And got in there, and it was me and 2 other triages. So 3 triages all together on Outpost. And they had free kits. And I was like, lads, have you played on this map before? And they were like, no. I was like, right, I know what to do. Follow me. We got into Pinwheel, and we fucking run amok. And because we could all heal each other and all get each other up, we were running through crews. Like, we came out of that with so much fucking shit. I came out with loads of purples, full bag, like full, everything full. And it was just brilliant. And I was like, right, that set me up for the day. Subsequent games, most of that shit's gone. But that is just the way it goes, right? And like, the thing that I've enjoyed the most about Marathon is that being in the dark, is that not knowing and having to figure it out. And when we've been running Outpost and figuring out how that map works and how to get into the high level stuff and how to get through the locked doors and all these different things, that's where I've been having so much enjoyment from it, let alone the minute-to-minute decision-making when you get met with another team and you come up with a plan on the fly and it just fucking works. Like the one we had with Busy Bee was perfect. We were locked down in Gatehouse. There was a team on the high ground upon from us. And the plan was just simple in case of Busy plays the assassin, so he's got smokes. So it's like, right, you chuck smokes down, we'll jump off, we'll move through the smokes, and we'll get around that way. We start that. The plan works perfectly. We get down there. Spence, you used your fucking blast ability that your character's got and blast them off the top, which kills one of them. And then we just run amok and kill the other two. And it was just perfectly executed. It was just so well done that it just made me think, fuck me, you can really just, it's not just if you see someone on site, they're going to win. It's how you play. And me and Busy had a few moments of that in subsequent games the other night when it was just me and him on, where we saw another team and we could take them first shots. And we're like, no, let's position. Let's get into position. I'll sacrifice myself. I got a self-res. I'll just run at them, shooting. You guys just loop round and just fucking take them out. And we're like, yeah, go. And so I just run in, just trying to pin them down while they get into position. And we just fucking annihilate them. And it's like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's just that fucking strategy that you can just pull out in just that moment-to-moment game that you won't find like in another time. And I may never get in a situation like that again, but it just stays with you, those moments. And it's got me, bro. It's got me by the fucking balls. I'm going to be playing this pretty much all year, I reckon. In terms of a multiplayer experience, I fucking love it. Phil, sorry I kept you on the back burner for so long. I want to come to you, my dude. How have you been enjoying it? And we've put in so many hours, you and me.
Yeah, I've just got to echo, I suppose, a bunch of your thoughts really there, Davey, because I've been absolutely loving the game for the time I've been able to play. Okay, recently I've had a little less time because I've been busy personal life, but every night I'm going to bed thinking about Marathon and wanting to get involved. I think tonight, straight after the podcast, we're going to trio up and hopefully play some games later. And it's very hard, I think, now to escape Marathon, because it's got its claws into me and it's whispering in my ear. It's saying, Phil, Marathon, Marathon. And I'm there for it. I really am. It's everywhere on my Twitter timeline. Every time I put on Twitch, I'm like, should I put on a league stream, what I normally have on in the background when I'm working? No, it's Marathon streams. When we're playing, my setup at home, I generally play the multiplayer stuff on my PC. So on my second PC screen, I've got a Marathon stream. So I'm watching Marathon, I'm playing Marathon. I'm obsessed about this game. I feel like we made a major step forward when myself and you were playing, Davey, because I moved away from the Destroyer class, and I actually became a little useful with the Recon class. And for those that don't know, the Recon class basically is the Watcher, right? It can sense people around you. That's its ultimate. And then it can also send out like a spider bot, which is very good of sort of rooting out people from cover. And we've used that quite a few times while we were playing together to really good effect. And as I said, I'm really excited to dive back in with you guys and have you involved, Spence. It's been a while since we've had the trio on the game, and that's one of the things for me that really makes this game that extra bit better is having you guys along for the ride with it. But Davey, when we were queuing up as duos, we did have some colourful characters, didn't we, join us?
We did.
And I was just trying to remember the one gentleman's name. Was it Arsemaster 9000?
We had Ass Blaster.
Yes,
9000.
9000. And the night started where we would have a teammate join us, and they wouldn't speak; they were mute. And of course, the jokes start going, and we're like, "Yeah, if you've got a mic, jump 3 times," and things like that would come out, right? And we'd have a bit of a laugh at their expense because they couldn't talk. And then it got on, and Ask Blaster 9000 dived on, and immediately we're cracking up at his name. And he comes on, and he's got this faux Russian German accent. And I'm like, is he putting this on, or is this just how he speaks? Because he's like, I'm going to get them. I'm going to steal from them. And I don't know. I don't know if he had some sort of voice, twisting machine, or, he's just very good at impressions. Clearly I'm not. But he had us in fits of laughter when we were playing with him. We only played one map, but it stuck with me. It really did.
Class.
We had a great time. And that's not to put any shade on anyone else we played with. We met quite a few different people, and even people that added us on PSN afterwards to try and play again with us because they had so much fun within our duos. And something I mentioned on the last podcast was the community and sort of sensing that basically everyone who plays this game is a bastard because it's very hard and very sweaty. They're bastards, right? When they're against you. When they're in your team, they're the most loving community, supporting community I've been part of for quite some time, because they're really willing to exchange knowledge. Even like the really basic things like pulling out your knife to run. We had quite a few people just try and introduce us to that, even though we were doing it, but maybe at times we weren't. And they would come in and offer that advice. And it feels nice to be part of that community with Marathon. So I don't think it's as difficult of a community to get involved with as maybe I painted in the last episode, because I think for someone going in solo, I pretty much warned them off in the last episode. But from your experience, Davey, it sounds very different.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's one of those things that we've started to be nice. Me and Spence had a thing the other day, and
what?
This is
nice. You two?
It's rare, right? Like the other night, I saw a rook and it was on sight. He just got absolutely fucking annihilated. All three of us just went for him. He just got annihilated. And then we were in another map and we had really good loot. And we were just in there to just do missions, right? And we saw this rook running around. There was three of us, me, Spence, and Busy. And so I just went onto the procs chat and I was like, bro, we're not going to hurt you. Just don't fucking shoot. Just stay in a corner or something and you'll be absolutely fine. And I was just like, if you need anything, just say on proc chat and we'll drop it for you. We don't need any loot here. So just pick whatever you want up. Like, we were all running with like fucking blues and shit. We were absolutely fine. And Spence, you even went up and like were crouch communicating with him and stuff, right? Because he didn't come on the mic, unfortunately.
It was weird. I cacked myself as well because he just kind of was there and then he was just in front of me. I almost shot. Because he was that moment where, someone's in front of you, you just shoot. And he was just crouching up and down. And so I crouched up and down. And he was like, hey, we're boys. And it is a nice little moment, isn't it? Making a friend online. It was very sweet. He never spoke
have to
to us,
watch
though.
out for him, though. Because the amount of videos that I've seen, and I think it even happened to us, where just a rook got too close and they bring out that knife and it's just devastating. It's embarrassing. It really is. There was one that stuck with me actually quite vividly. Like, Davey, I think you had run out to collect some loot, or maybe you were going to the next area that we wanted to sort of rummage through, and a rook got you. And you were like, oh my God. And like, obviously you were starting to panic, right? I'm there still healing or whatever I'm doing, minding my own business. And I'm trying to take him out as he's taking you out. And the bare panic that runs through you when you see that rook and they're so close to you. So not every rook is a nice guy, but it's nice to hear that you did find one. And to be fair, you being nice to them probably helped.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's in the power of the players who have the power at that point to extend the olive branch, and to try and be nice. I'm going to try my best, but 90% of the time it's on site. And it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. But there's nothing better than fucking killing a crew and just looting all this shit. And we had an amazing thing on Outpost when me, Spence, Busy were playing before, where we were just in Pinwheel, which is the center where it all kicks off in Outpost. And we took out a crew by kind of the most fluky way ever, to be honest. But fuck it, I'll ride with it. In that we got pinned down and we were in this corridor and they were on the one end, we were on the other, and there was just shots being fired left and right. And there was like a little console, right? Like a little like command desk. And I just jumped up onto the corner of that just to heal. Mm-hmm. And they came in to rush and just walked straight past me, didn't see me, and they were shooting at Spence. And so I was just able just to kill both of them, right?
Oh,
Like,
no
because
way.
they had their back to me. And after that, then there was like their boxes there. And then another team came to loot that. And I was like, boys, they're looting. And we just fucking
Yeah.
rolled on them immediately. And it was just like death central. And we had so much shit that entire game. So much stuff we walked away with. It was fucking incredible.
It's that balance, and it's so hard, I think, Marathon. It really toes that line perfectly, in my opinion, of when you're sort of navigating through the terrain, it's, are you looking out for enemies or are you looking for loot? Because when we were playing Davey, it was a clear distinction between the third player, wasn't there? Because gunshots would be firing left, right, and center. And there was an update recently, and forgive me if I'm wrong and keep me honest if that's still in the game, but you could hear the gunfire much more than you would originally, like in the beta when we played, okay? Or the server slam when we played. And we would see people just diving for loot. And we're like, bro, this fire, they're like, things are going on. What are you doing looting? And it got so frustrating, didn't it? But I think we actually got caught out and quite embarrassed by one of those times as well. So we won't go into the detail of that one, but definitely as a third, you just need to be following the other two as opposed to just being a greedy little loot goblin.
There is a strategy that I saw on TikTok today that is kind of about that. Whereas if, say, you knock one, finish him, so their bag's down, you just don't even take anything. You just go in the bag and click to drop everything in the bag so that if they get a chance to revive that person during the fight, they come up with nothing.
Oh, that's quite good. That's
a
tasty.
great idea.
That's some good tech.
There's a few strats, man.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it keeps them out the fight because they'll just run off thinking we've got something they don't, or they might just have to spend like 2 minutes picking up all their shit.
Oh, wow. That's a really, really good idea. Definitely one to watch. But I think we've played it enough to be able to get some initial ratings out here, which we haven't done yet for Marathon. So let's go around the circle. Spence, you seem the least hot on this at the moment, but we'll start with you anyway. What is your rating on Marathon at the moment?
Oh, yeah, you say that, but I'm going to give it a massive score, I think. For the genre of game it is, it does it so well, like exceptionally well. And it's fantastic to play with mates, and it's such a thriving community. It's like when Helldivers came out, and everyone was just class. I think I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, with room to go up. With the more I learn and the more I experience this game, I think it could very well hit a 10 for the genre of game that it is. Maybe not for a game overall, but for its genre, I think it could reach those high heights.
Wow. I did not expect that from your opening. Fair dues. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy?
I think this one's a very difficult one for me because I've never played an extraction shooter before. I'd never really even heard of the genre till really recently. And I, as I said, I've never really known too much about it. So this is the first one I've ever spent time in, but I haven't spent considerable time in just yet. I've really enjoyed playing with you guys and really appreciated the early leg up that I got from playing alongside people who had put in the time to understand all the systems. But I still feel, even though I'm sort of level 20, I think I am in the game currently, I still feel like I'm learning. I still feel like there's depth to this game. Now, for me at the moment, I want to go back, so it's above average, but can I give it a 9? At the moment, probably not, because I don't feel like I've spent enough time in the game. I want to spend more. It's got its grips into me. And I am at that level of obsession where I'm reading about it and watching Twitch streams. But I'm going to go for a really strong 8 on this one. But I think, again, with room to grow. I think it could be a 9. 10, I don't know. I don't know where it goes with that figure.
This final area, which unlocks in the next couple of days, is like, right? Like, Outpost has given me so much more joy out of Marathon than I thought. Like, I thought it was fun being in Perimeter and being in Dire Marsh. And Dire Marsh, I reckon's worse. Like, I get fucking smoked when I'm in Dire Marsh compared to Outpost. But I really like the way Outpost works and the kind of puzzle of getting in and getting that stuff, right? I loved uncovering all that. I want to see what that looks like for the final kind of areas with archives that's coming up in the next couple of days. So I'm so keen for that. The reason why I'm not going any higher than, say, a 9 or a 9.5 at the moment is I enjoy the lore, right, that's being delivered to me, but I'm not at the point yet where I'm invested enough to read the stuff. And I think that as soon as I get to the point where I feel like I want to read these massive articles which are there, I think at that point I've got to bump it up. Whereas right now I don't. I like knowing how the shells are formed, how the different factions all kind of work against each other and what they all do. I'm enjoying that interplay. And there's a lot more for me to experience with that. But I'm not as invested into the lore as I could be. And so for that reason, I'll probably stay for myself right now as a 9. But like you guys have caveated, potential to go up.
It's all about that emotional connection for a 10, isn't it? It's got to make you feel something.
Yeah.
Do I feel something just yet, other than the obsession? Not yet. The story side of things, it is very intriguing, and there's clearly a lot of depth there. But it's so hard to take your mind out of just wanting to re-queue in the game and watch those. They may only be a minute long introductions and take it in as if it should mean something to you. But these days, I just want to get back in and play the game. It's like I want to save that for after. A little bit like Concord did. I'm sorry to bring this up again, but they very much felt that the story felt really separate to the actual game, right? You could queue, and then you could join and you could watch the story separately. I think with this, it might benefit to be able to watch the story as a big clip and sort of fully understand things a bit better than maybe I do currently.
I think a lot of it for the story here is just done smarter than Concord because it's woven into the contracts.
Yeah,
and that teaches you a lot. You come back from, especially some of the contracts I'm doing at the moment, you come back from it and you learn quite a lot. It tells you quite a lot about the different things you're doing, so it just feels more organic than it did in Concord, where you sign in once a week, get a fucking random video, right? It just never worked. I think there's argument for this to be a 10 because we gave Helldivers 2 a 10, and I stand by that 10. And I think the experience that you have and the emotions that you feel in playing that experience with friends is just as valid as a single player experience delivering you an emotion that you're supposed to feel, because it's organically giving you those moments, right? Like High Guard didn't give me any moments that I'll really remember. But Marathon's already given them to me. So I think it does have legs to get to a 10.
Yeah.
Just need to see if it keeps me as invested as it is doing at this point, when we're coming towards end of year or whatever it is, right? If we're still talking about Marathon, it's a high contender for Game of the Year at that point. We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of contenders for Game of the Year, let's bring it on to our final game we're going to be talking about today, and that is Resident Evil 9. So I don't know where you guys have got to. So let's just go round and we'll start. And just like the last conversation, it'll be very organic. Spence, you've been playing Resident Evil 9. How are you getting on with it, my mate?
So I have finished it.
Hey, well done.
I finished it today. I was like, I did not want to sit on here today and not have it done. I don't know why. It was so in my head of, I want this finished. And all I've been playing whenever I've had any free time. I love this game. I think it's fantastic. I think you boys talk about where you are before we carry on.
I do want to know, how many hours did it take you?
So it took me ages, mind. It took me 13 hours and 15 minutes.
Wow. Okay. And you were playing on Standard Classic, yeah?
Whatever the hardest one was at the time.
Standard Classic. Cool. 13 hours, 15. Okay. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy? Where have you got up to?
I've just been attacked by a very memorable character in the RPD.
Okay. So you're quite deep in.
I assume so. I couldn't imagine a third chapter of any character, but I may be surprised.
Okay. We know where you are. All right. That's fine. So I have completed the game too. I played it much like I said I would do. I played quite a lot over the weekend of last weekend, and then I kind of ticked it off with odd hours here and there. I completed it in 10.5 hours for my run through on Standard Classic. I've got problems with it. I've got quite big problems with it. I think it's criminally overrated, this game. I'm still. I'll just come out with this straight away, just to put it out there, because explaining negatives takes a lot longer than positives, right? So that's just something to bear in mind. If you've got a review and you've got the negative section, it always could be massively long that you spend explaining the negatives, because you've got to explain why you feel that way and where you come to. And a lot of that I can't do because you haven't finished it yet, Phil. I'm going to say I'm rating this a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. What I can say is that it's better than Village, worse than 7, worse than 4 Remake. That's where I come down on it. I don't think it's the second coming of Christ that everyone else is, and I think it's full of just nostalgia bait for no reason. Literally no reason, especially the very end. But I can't go into that. It's chocked full. It's chocked full. And I honestly think, and we can say this because obviously this was in the trailers and everything else, they should, and this is my personal take, they should have kept the RPD and Raccoon City under fucking wraps. That should never have been revealed in marketing, ever. And sure, it might have been the reason why it's been able to achieve the sales success that it has, with people knowing they're going back there. But Metal Gear Solid 4, and I mean, fucking hell, this is a spoiler for Metal Gear Solid 4. Skip ahead if you want to. The game's fucking PS3 game. Metal Gear Solid 4, you go back to Shadow Moses.
What?
And that moment...
Damn.
That moment was so under wraps. When I experienced that, and the fan stuff, that game is just full of fan stuff, right? But it was doing it before everyone else. So it felt new. Like, you have a fight where you're piloting Metal Gear Rex against Ray, right? Like, it's fucking nuts. It's just fan service to a T, but it was at the right time. Whereas now we've had so much Marvelification of all this fucking nostalgia bait that it didn't hit for me in the right way. And I felt we're going to the RPD, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're here. And then it's like, oh, this memorable character comes up that I've seen. I'm like, cool, of course. And then there's more, and it just like keeps kind of going with this. And I'm like, all right, I get it. I fucking get it, right? Like, to me, the best part of the game is the opening. I really think that first section with Grace is the highlight of the game. And nothing really comes close for me. Still, 9 out of 10. Really, really enjoyed it. Loved it. Couldn't put it down. But I'm not motivated right now to go back for a round 2 because I got Marathon that I want to play. Otherwise, I could quite easily go for the Platy on this because it is very replayable. I feel like Resident Evil 3 Remake in terms of like the way I just want to kind of go back into it. It's quite fast paced. But right now I'm not motivated to do so. I probably will be in when I'm sitting there waiting for Saros to come out. But that's my thought. So I've tried to keep it as detailed as I can without going into anything. Spence,
I think
I don't
you
know.
did well.
Thank you. Spence, I don't know if you got thoughts.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I agree. It's not the second coming of Christ. I agree with that. I also agree it's a 9 out of 10. And I agree that it's nostalgia bait to the highest degree, especially like you said towards the end. But I don't mind that, man.
You're fine with it, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right, man. It's okay. There's enough differences and there's enough like moments that aren't, that I think it's all right. But I do agree with you. The beginning is probably the best part, apart from, well, any Grace section really. I think is the best, other than maybe the last one. But I always find that the end of a Resident Evil is the weakest part. So I'm not that mad about it. I don't know. There are things about this game that makes me think, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Why is this here? Why am I doing this bit? But when you really think about it and you think about how stupid Resident Evil has always been, it's okay.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I suppose, Phil, where you're at now, you've obviously had some, and we've got to be careful for the audience here, but you've had some key callbacks from like a classic enemy, which you're fighting right now. You
Correct.
fought another classic enemy who hasn't been in there since the original trilogy, in can I even say? I can't even say, can I? You know what I'm on about. It's a creature, right? I'll put it that way.
Yep.
In not linked news in any way, shape, or form, there was a new Spider-Man trailer out there, if that gives you another hint of where I'm going with this enemy. But yes, there are...
It didn't have to be that obvious.
It's so obvious, man.
Like, I played the game,
It's a spider,
right?
it's a
I'm
spider.
not lying here. I played the game, right?
Yeah. No. I'm doing it for the
There's a
audience's sake.
spider?
Yeah. So, like, you've seen enough kind of the callbacks, right? How are you feeling about our comments and your own kind of take on how you're enjoying the game to where you are so far?
Yeah, sure. Interesting to hear your guys' takes. Obviously, yours has been a little sour, Davey, with the ending, which I suppose DS2 kind of felt that way for me, just to shoehorn it back into the conversation, because I spoiled myself with DS2. I went to an orchestra event that gave away some of the ending.
So sad.
So I kind of knew it was coming, but baiting with nostalgia. It's kind of what we've been asking for from Resident Evil, though. People want Leon. People want. I'm not talking about you, Davey. I'm talking about the general Resident Evil crowd. And we're getting to the 9th game. This is the 9th major game within the series. You could totally understand why they're just milking that big fat cow as much as they can. Because it's just money at the end of the day. This game has 6 million sales. It's the fastest selling title in the series. And that was announced on Capcom's website on the 16th of March, okay? That was accurate to then. It's the fastest selling game. Of course people are buying it because of the marketing, because they've said we're going back to Raccoon City and we're going to the RPG. Completely get your point, but I slightly disagree. I work in marketing, so I understand the power of something like that when it comes to marketing, because that's what everyone's been frothing at the mouth for so many years, mate. Leon gets to put the fucking outfit on. I haven't yet. But there's definitely a way to wear his outfit, or I've seen it online anyway, multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
like
just a costume. It's just a costume.
People wanted it, right? And we got some news later in the quick news around this title, which I think will interest people more, and maybe will calm that slight tinge you've put on this 9 out of 10 that yourself and Spencer now believe that this game isn't the quality that I kind of believe it is. Okay, I'm sort of 9 to 10 hours into this game, maybe an extra hour on top of that. I've been taking my time with it, but the Grace gameplay and the parts that Leon dips in and out of that, I thought were absolutely amazing. I've really, really enjoyed that story. Heartbreaking, terrible. I was along for the emotional ride with Grace, and that thing that happens when she kind of changes her outlook on her journey. I'm keeping this very vague.
Yeah.
Was horrible. Was horrible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, they're doing this. It was a bit like the feeling in Expedition, right? Where you just kind of think, oh, why have you done that? Like that was like such a cute thing. And you went on this whole journey and maybe it pays off, right? I don't know where they take Grace, but the whole Victor bad guy with his reoccurring kind of monologues that he came up that was, peppered throughout Grace's story. I thought, well, that's scary as hell, man. Not as scary as 7. Completely agree with you on that one. And I would still say 7 is a better game for me because we are the horror side of the fan base, okay? But I really vibed with it. I just loved how fucking untouchable he was. He literally walks around like he's invincible, and he literally is to Grace, okay? She has the Requiem, but she don't want to fire it, right? But like she's scared of it for some damn reason. I don't know why. Silly bird. But like it's great. It's just that feeling of dread that I love within Resident Evil, where I'm like, oh my God, I haven't got this. Oh my God, I've got one bullet for the Requiem and I've wasted it on something that was clearly scripted. And I'm so annoyed I did it, right? When I did it, I was like, oh, fuck. I could have kept that bullet, but obviously you probably needed to use that bullet right at the start, right? Do you understand the part I'm on about? I'm trying to keep this as vague as possible. It's very hard without talking about specifics. And the 2 roaming monsters that Grace encounters, I thought were great.
Yeah.
I like both of those. There was reasoning behind them. There was story behind them.
Yeah.
There was bonuses for killing both of them. Even though one reoccurs later, and I'm like, that was a bit strange.
Well, they explained that as well.
With the sniper rifle, not with the earlier bit.
Well, that's a different enemy. There wasn't a chunk. That one.
Oh, we'll discuss it a bit further offline, I think. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And if I was rating just my experience with Grace, it'd be a straight 10 out of 10. It really would. I loved that section of the game. I think moving on to the sort of Leon section, and it's not giving anything away. There's 2 sections in the game. You play Grace as the first half of the game, Leon as the second, right? It's probably not equally split because I looked at the PlayStation cards. It said 57% on Grace when I'd finished her. Okay, so maybe it's slightly more Grace heavy. But of course, you do get Grace elements sprinkled within the Leon, and you get Leon sprinkled in the Grace. And when Grace comes back up, or you play as a younger version of Grace, that section's shit. Trust me. I didn't enjoy that. It was confusing.
Didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
It didn't fill in the story.
No.
As much as just like a cutscene or like a really detailed, document would do, or, just any sort of video could have just told that. The whole lead up to it seemed pointless because you watched a video at the end of it. And there was just elements of just like, it's not that scary, that part of it. I kind of get what they were going for, but I didn't vibe with that section. And I think that is the popular kind of viewpoint of that section of the game. But Leon, it's just RE4 remake again, isn't it? I'm not the biggest Leon fan in later games, but it's more of what the community wants and more of what the community has been begging Capcom for. So it's no surprise to me that, I'm Leon in RE4 again, just roaming around the streets, right? Killing shit tons of monsters. And there has been times, even though I'm playing it on a slightly less difficult difficulty than you guys, because I'm playing without the ink ribbons, that you run out of weapons, you run out of ammo, even with Leon. And there's elements of fear within that, which I like a bit more. And I think with RE4 Remake, Davey, one of your comments, if I'm remembering right, and I'm not misremembering this, is that you said that only sort of happens towards the higher difficulties. Now, I'm experiencing it now on my difficulty with Leon, where I'll be running away from said zombies with him, and that's not a spoiler, right? And maybe that's just a reflection on my skill, I don't know, but I am running away from zombies, and there is times where like I will leave zombies with Leon, where with Grace I wouldn't always leave everything, that's kind of the vibe with Grace. You try and get past as many as you can and conserve all the ammo, and when you come back as Leon you kill everything, right? But there has been times throughout the game, I think, with Leon that I have been leaving zombies and pooping my pants a little bit more. And that's what I always wanted from a Resident Evil title, with Leon as the, unbeatable stallion that he is, right? Is that dread and that fear and that possibility of losing. Because I felt in RE4, he was just way too invincible. And I don't like that when it gets to that stage, and maybe the higher difficulty would have given me that payoff, but I feel like I'm getting that payoff with this game, and that's why I'm along for the ride at a 10 out of 10 at the moment. Now, I am getting to the nostalgia bait parts, and at the moment they're okay. I'm not losing my shit over anything. Like the RPD moment was fucking cool.
It was great,
Walking through those doors and opening it up, and
having the music,
seeing the big
brilliant
symbol on the floor,
Brilliant.
and wandering
Loved it.
around and understanding how it had changed, and going into the library and going into all those memorable rooms. Yeah, I'm fucking buzzing about that, mate. Like, I can't hate
Same.
that. Really
Same.
can't hate that.
Yeah.
But I think from the way you're describing it, it sounds egregious. It sounds like how Kojima went with the end of DS2, where he just tried to thumb in as much Metal Gear Solid as possible. And I think we always, the viewpoint which you've got to use this sparingly, because it's a very powerful tool. If you use it too much, it'll just blind you. And I'm sensing that's where this game goes based on both of your now reactions to this game. But I'm in, man. I'm loving it. I'm a 10 out of 10 because I'm enjoying it. I think after I've finished it and I get past all this nostalgia and I see the ending, and of course I don't know what happened to Victor. He fell off a motorbike, which was again a strange section. You know, so untouchable by grace, but Leon knocks him off a bike or something. Didn't really enjoy that section either. I was killing bloody dogs. All right. That felt like RE5 again for me.
It felt like 6 to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bad,
yeah.
It's
Again,
bad.
6. 6 wasn't really a big title for me. I kind of skipped a lot of 6, I think. But yeah, I'm along for the ride. I really, really enjoy it. Can't wait to complete it and talk about that ending with you guys. And maybe I will adjust my score once I get past that and look back on it. But at the moment, fucking love it. 10 out of 10 at the moment. For me.
Fair enough, mate.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's interesting that you were saying about the ammo situation because and Spence, you and me have chatted about this privately, so please come in on this. But I never had that issue at all with either character. Grace, I think by the time I did the first thing, I had like 50 odd pistol rounds, 11 rounds with the Requiem, and then she gives it to Leon. I'm like, don't give it to Leon, like because I haven't used any of it. So I was pissed off. I was like, fuck's sake, I'd saved so much of that fucking ammo up ready for whatever the final boss is. And then, always the same way I do every single Resident Evil. But yeah, I had no issue. And especially with Leon's, everything dies. Everything died with Leon. Nothing died with Grace. Everything dies with Leon. And that's just the way it is. Yeah, I didn't have any issue. Am I alone on this, Spence?
I had one issue, and this is my one issue with the game as well. My big one issue with the game. As Grace, there was a section where I ran out of ammo and ran out of kit, and it soft locked the game for me because it was in a section where I couldn't leave. It was like a mini boss fight kind of thing. I can't really go into too much detail for spoilers, but it's the bottom of the care center. That's all I'll say. Solving a puzzle. And I had to dispatch of, I think, 4 zombies. And then there's another one, but that one you can avoid. And it still progresses. If you don't kill the first 4, it soft locks. You can't leave. You can't wait out a timer. You're trapped. And that happened to me. So I had to reload a save for like an hour beforehand and just go about it a different way. But then that taught me, because I was very early on in the game, that taught me that I'd been playing wrong. And so then I started playing different as Grace. And I never, ever again had any trouble with my inventory whatsoever. Even as Grace, I had bucket loads of bullets, loads of hemolytic injectors, absolutely loads of them. As Leon, I've just beaten it today. In the final area, I had like 45 rifle rounds, 25 Requiem rounds, 300 machine gun ammo, 70 pistol bullets. I had fucking everything, man. I had loads of those stacked hand grenades. I remember, because I got in one room and I healed myself and I realized how many heals I had. I had 12 med injectors. I was like, blooming
Jesus Christ, better than me. Definitely better than me.
And I had like 3 triple green herb concoctions. I was like, fucking hell, I've got so much stuff. And then that's when, as soon as I saw I had 12 med injectors, I was like, all right, let's start using the big guns. And then I flew through the ending. It was crazy, actually. The ending let me down quite a lot because of that, I think. I basically just ran through it.
I was very much the same.
But yeah,
very much the same.
we've had very different Leon experiences, I think. For me, it was more than RE4. In RE4, he's like this badass who can just make it through. But I did have ammo troubles in that game. In this, I felt untouchable, man.
I got to second you on that. I think the big thing that makes it a lot easier in this one is the fact you can sharpen the axe. I think that's just a fucking mistake. I really do. Like, I think before, the knife and managing your knife resource was so fucking important in 4 Remake. So important, because it was either that or death. And there's sometimes you had to make that hard choice of, my knife's going to snap, I'm just going to take the damage on this instead of parrying. Whereas here, you might as well just fucking parry everything, because as soon as your knife just breaks, you just walk back a little bit, just sharpen it, and you're back in there. And you can just swing your axe on people, and they can't do fuck. I had one Blistead who got up, and as he was getting up, I was just hitting him with the axe. He just got locked in the animation, just getting twatted.
I did that, yeah.
It took like a minute or two for him to die, but I was still like, I haven't used a fucking bullet on this guy, and just cooperating him with the lights over and over and over again, and then just sharpen up, on you go. I don't know why they changed that. I don't know why they did that. I think it's a missed opportunity, but maybe they tried it and it was too hard, and they wanted to bring the action back up but still have something there as a resource. We might as well just not have the axe get damaged. Like, it makes no fucking difference at all, I don't think, being able to sharpen it. But it'd be interesting. What would be good is that as soon as you finish it, Phil, we should sit down and do a special on this to talk in depth. I'd love to.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'd love to.
I would absolutely love to. But the one thing is for sure from all these conversations, 9s and 10s out the board, they fucking nailed it.
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying at the start, that's why I wanted to make sure I made this very clear. It takes a while to explain negatives, and they come off as really, really bad. This is a 9 out of 10. I'm giving this here. It's fucking great. So I'm not disappointed in any way, shape, or form here.
It's like our criticisms when it comes to games like Spider-Man 2 or, Horizon. Horizon probably had a few more criticisms, but that story banged. Spider-Man 2, definitely a great video game, but I think jointly me and you have spoke more about the negatives than we spoke about the positives on that game.
100%.
And I feel like you're probably going down that route a little bit with RE9, and I've just obviously come in with all the positives, but maybe I'll have some negatives in future conversations, but we'll see. As I said, loving the game. Let's get to the end of it and let's organise that chat where we can go in depth and be as spoiler as we want.
Awesome. Audience, let us know if you want that. Then just please make it vocal, make it known, and we will make sure to set the time aside. If everyone's a bit indifferent, then we'll save our time and we'll just talk privately. But let us know, audience. Power's in your hands. And with that, we shall move it on to the quick news.
Quick news.
Quickety quick news, listeners and viewers. Welcome to the quick news, which in my opinion is the best part of the show, because we've spent 2 weeks scouring the internet for the latest and greatest from the PlayStation Nation to present to you in the form of words. This week, we're going to delay the stipulation because next week is the big quiz. Yes, we're going to get drunk as hell and act like idiots while playing video games and trying our best to string together sentences about video games and other things, I suppose, as we normally do when we have a big quiz. But there's no king at the moment. The crown is up for grabs next episode. So we have no stipulation. Spencer, you're off the hook for another week. There's no impressions, no dances you need to do. You don't need to stone cold stunner someone on your bed or anything like that. You don't have to take off your top. I know you probably want to, but you keep it on for this section of the show, please. So instead, as I said, we're just going to give you some quick news. So without further ado, Spencer, I'm going to come over to you for your first quick news for discussion.
Thank you, mate. Okay, so, as always, lads, ladies, listeners, Phil, I know you kind of did my news for me last step.
Yes.
And you did a fantastic job as well, might I add. It was very nice to listen to it and listen to a different take on what games we're getting. However, the boy's back. And he is here to bring you the PlayStation Plus game catalogue for March. And the games are as follows. For Extra and Premium, we have Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 for the PS5. EA Sports Madden NFL 26, PS5. Persona 5 Royale, or Royal, however you want to say it, PS5, PS4. Persona 5 Royal Ultimate Edition, only for the PS4. Blasphemous 2, PS5, PS4. Metal Eden, PS5, Lord of the Rings, Return to Moria. I might be saying that wrong, I'm sure Davey knows. Astroneer, PS5, PS4. And then for the premium side of life, you get Tekken Dark Resurrection, PS5 and PS4. Now, lads, what do you think of this monthly suite of games? I'll be honest, I'm not impressed. I'm just going to say that now. But what do you boys think? Davey had a bit of a shocked look on his face when I said that. So, Davey, have at it. What do you think?
I think it's one of the best months we've had.
You think?
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, this month goes hard as fuck. And I think for like everyone really, for there's like huge games here for like any walk of life. Persona 5 Royale is a big deal. I'm not going to play it. I know I'd love this. And I know that you were always saying when I was playing, when I was waxing lyrical on fucking, oh my God, Game of the Year last year. Jesus Christ.
Oh, FF16?
No.
Give me your last year.
Yeah. Fucking Expedition.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with us. On Expedition, you were like, you'd love Persona. You'd love Persona so much. And I had never played one. So that's a big fucking get. There's loads of choices this month. Normally, it's like, who's going to pick the hard one here? There's fucking so many choices I can go for. I know there's one that me and Phil are both going to pick on this. And so I'm going to save it for Phil to be able to have that. For me, I already own Space Marine 2. If I didn't, I'd be fucking over the moon with this. I love Space Marine 2. I really want to go back to that. I don't know why we haven't done that.
We should.
We really should. It was so much fun. Maybe if we're getting sick of Marathon at some point, we'll go back. But real fucking good one. The other one that I'm really interested in is Blasphemous 2. It looks great. I don't know when I'd play it is the problem, but it looks great. So that's the one I'm going to pick. It's not my main choice. I'm saving that for Phil, because I know we're going to be aligned.
All right, well, Mr. Hoy, what do you think? And let us know if Davey is right.
See, this is why I felt such a fraud on the last episode introducing games, because no one does it like your boy, Spencer Davis.
Of course, mate.
The boy's back. He's taken his crown. But anyway, the part that I like to go through is the Metacritic scores, don't I? So I've picked a few games, and I've selected a few, which I want to touch on. So, Davey, you touched on Space Marine 2, classic game. Really, really good. We had a lot of fun in the short period of time that we played it. Great story. But the multiplayer is where it's at. And I'd like to dig back in to that game with you. It is an 82% on Metacritic for anyone that is interested in the Warhammer 40,000 world. And even if you're not, I think Space Marine 2 is a solid game. So that's a big get. You've got EA Sports Madden NFL 26. This is a 77% on Metacritic, so a very high scoring Madden game. But I haven't played one of those since, I don't know when.
Since John Madden?
Maybe
Back
since
in the
John
day.
Madden. Yeah. Maybe. I go back that far. Yeah. When I was actually, playing it on the old retro consoles. But 77 is a good score. So if anyone is interested in a Madden game, I know NFL is a bigger deal now in the UK. We get a lot of people wearing merchandise with the NFL logo on. So there we go. Fill your boots, 77. Davey, you're completely right on Persona 5 Royale. That is the biggest score of the day. It scored a massive, and this is massive, 95% on Metacritic.
Huge deal.
So when Davey says this is a solid month, it's a solid month with just this. That's a huge game with a high rating. One that didn't get a high rating was the game that you thought Davey would be able to pronounce, and that's the Lord of the Rings game. That only got 59%. So I wouldn't bother pronouncing the end of that one, Davey, because you want to completely forget about that one as quickly as you can. But the one you alluded to, and it's the game that we probably were going to buy at a certain point, but this is why, and I'm going to say it, boys, I love the subscription. Because you get beauties like Metal Eden. 73% on Metacritic, and this game sold me from the outset. So this is the adrenaline rush sci-fi FPS. You're a hyper unit called Oscar, and you're sent out on a suicide mission to rescue the citizens' cause from Morbius, an orbital city turned into a deadly trap. You dive into a cybernetic warfare. You face engineers and uncover the secrets of the Metal Eden. Now, if my introduction hasn't sold you, maybe this will, because this game is a sci-fi, and I say sci-fi version of Doom, because the last Doom was a bit kind of old school looking in and aesthetic that it kind of portrayed, but it did have those elements of futurism in the design. But this is very much a forward thinking game, but it's a little bit Doom, it's a little bit Metroid if you watch any of the videos, because there is rolling about in a ball at some stage. I don't know if that's some sort of vehicle, but this game definitely has sold it. It screams a 7 out of 10 to me, even though I am trying to sell it as a 9 out of 10, but it's definitely a game for the Portal, which I'm going to be playing in between everything else that I'm doing. So it's definitely one of those ones that I think I'm going to play on the sofa while the TV is busy. And I must say, PlayStation has been releasing a shit ton of updates for its hardware. And the latest update to the PS Portal, that boy is singing. My God, like the graphics are just getting boosted and boosted and boosted. So I booted up the game that can't be mentioned in this part of the show. I'll be very careful on the Portal. It looked absolutely fabulous. So Metal Eden is going to get that Portal shine, baby, on the PS5 Pro, and I'm going to be playing it sat on the couch.
You're
So
brave.
that would be my pick.
You're brave, dude, playing it on the Portal.
I would not, mate. I think you're going to start and regret it.
Have you not seen my internet these days, boys? Rock solid. And I'm playing I don't know how big my living room, I was going to say 5 meters. It's big, but it ain't that fucking big. A couple of meters away from my PS5 Pro. So I don't think I'm going to have any issues, but I will report on the next episode. But I am going to be playing Portal with this one, purely because I've got the game that can't be mentioned, Expedition, Silent Hill, and the list goes on and on. So if I'm sitting down for quality time, that I do from time to time, when I'm allowed on the big TV, because I need to get permission, as Joe Thomas always reminds me, I will be playing one of the AAA titles. Metal Eden, unfortunately, it falls by the wayside, and it is one of the games that I'll try and dip in from time to time. So maybe an update on the next episode on that one.
I'm definitely playing this, 100%. Like, where I'm not interested to go back to Arena.
Oh,
for fuck's sake! We've hit this fucking button.
There it is.
So many times.
Classic.
Oh, so many times we've hit that fucking button lately. Jesus Christ.
Another shot in the dark.
Oh, I know. I'll add it in. Yeah, where I'm not interested to go back to the game that Carly mentioned 9, right now at this moment in time, I'm looking for a game to play to tide me over till Saros. I don't think it's going to tide me over all the way. I think it's going to be a short, sharp little experience, but I'm fucking in for it. I really want to try it. I was so sold on it when we were originally seeing it. And I wasn't the hugest fan of the last Doom. So it may even be a case that I might like this more than the critics do. But we'll wait and see. I'll definitely have an update on this on the next episode because I'm installed in this already. The games came out today. I believe it is on the day of our recording, or was it a couple of days ago, 17th? 17th, yeah,
a couple of days ago, because I've already installed it. It's ready
nice.
to go.
I'll get it installed, and I'll play this. This won't be on the Portal though. I even with streaming, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be the best experience. So I think I'll hang fire on that. But you and me feel very positive on this. Spence, you started off by saying you weren't too keen. So give me your thoughts, bro.
Yeah. First of all, just a quick side note, just because it's not part of the show. I tried out the new PS Portal update yesterday as well. Just quickly chiming about the Portal, because why not? It's fine. It's a high fidelity 1080p version where it focuses on, appearance rather than performance. It didn't look much better, but it played a lot worse. It is not worth using it, I don't think. I'd much rather just use the stable performance mode. But
you're a performance guy, mate.
Yeah.
You don't like the pretty side of life like me and Davey. We're all about aesthetics. Now you just want performance under the hood.
On a streaming device, the appearance can only get so good, especially on a small 1080p display. It wasn't improved anywhere near enough to warrant the drop in not even performance stability of the stream. So that's all I want to say. That's my 2 cents on the new update. But I like that the mode's there. I like that they're adding more.
Mate, they did an update for the PS3 recently. Yeah, recently they did an update. As soon as we're talking about updates, they did an update for the PS3, an update for the PS4. PS5 update, PS Portal update. Who is Sony these days? They've really turned a corner.
Is the PS3 one just to stop hacking?
Doesn't matter, mate.
Probably.
They're still supporting it.
I was going to say, did they finally add a keyboard?
Hopefully.
That would encourage hacking, I think.
It would, yeah.
As long as PS Rewired's still going, then I got no problems. You know, as long as they haven't somehow shut down that little community, because that's a little gem, that is. We haven't done that for a long time. We got to go back to some Killzone 2 boys.
Yeah.
That was a good
I'm
fucking
up for
time.
that.
Hell yeah. All right, so back on topic. My beef with this month, which it's not a terrible month, but it's just not for me, I think is the thing. Space Marine, fantastic edition. It wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it as much as you boys did. I think I was quite clear about that when I was playing it. It was fine. It was more fun to play with you boys than it was to play the game itself. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. But I appreciate you guys really enjoyed it. I'm sure a lot of people do. It's just not for me. Madden, do one. I ain't playing that. That's crazy. We just got PGA 2K25. I ain't playing no damn Madden.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot all about that fucking shit.
Which I did play a little bit of Trekker, by the way, and I am not going to be playing anymore.
Yeah.
Difficult
Immediately.
platinum, is it?
I haven't checked, and I don't want to check, because 23 took the piss. And you boys talked about this last ep, and I remembered. I am not doing it. I got too much. We got marathon. I ain't playing no golf. Persona.
We'll see later when we log on to marathon. He's there golfing like.
Hell yeah. Persona is actually technically the reason I'm on this show. I bought a PS4 to play Persona 5, and that's what got me back into the PlayStation ecosystem. And I am still yet to beat Persona 5. It's been years since maybe the year it released, the original version of Persona 5. Still haven't beaten it. So this is actually quite good for me, and it would be a perfect Portal game. I kind of just can't be asked, though. There's so much to play, and Persona 5 is like 150-hour game. It's not. As much as it's a great addition, fantastic game. I adored the time I put into it, which was like 70 hours, by the way. I was far. I've not had a drive to go back to it, and I can't imagine this getting me in. But who knows? Maybe during a moment of silence in terms of like releases, which is never happening anymore. Who knows? Blasphemous 2, that'll be great on the Portal. That's probably my choice out of this list. Blasphemous 2. I played a bit of Blasphemous 1, enjoyed it, didn't really stick with it, but Blasphemous 2, being a Portal game, very much agree with. Metal Eden as well. I would be there with you boys. I'm not as big a Doom fan as you guys. Not a chance I'd play this on the Portal as well. I think, Phil, I respect that you're going to try. I think you'll walk that back as soon as you...
In my house, I'm playing it. I'm not playing it on the bus. I'm not playing it on the plane. I'm not playing it in a different country. I'm not playing it down Tracko. I'm playing in my house.
The inherent...
We shall see. The Portal gets better.
The
grows,
inherent delay
it
in controls,
evolves.
mate. You'll feel it when on
It's
on
getting
FPS.
to the next level. I'm willing it to become more than it is. And currently, it's not letting me down. Okay, I haven't gone back to Doom on it because that was a terrible experience. But I'm going to give it a go.
Hey, all the best, you know. But I'm keen to see what you say.
But if I only play it on the Portal, how would I know?
Because you'll give the game a 2 out of 10. That's why. But then the rest of the list, yeah, I don't give a shit. So I think it is a good month, just not for me.
And
That's that's the way the months go. That's the way the cookie
the way
crumbles.
the cookie does crumble.
Yeah. But Blasphemous 2 is my big pick, and if I hadn't played Persona 5, it would be Persona 5. But I've played most of it, and I've got no drive to go back. So yeah, that's it for me. There you have it. All right, I need to change my stuff. Wrong one. Moving very swiftly on, boys. Let's go round. Who wants it?
Dealer's choice, mate. Up to you.
Who wants it? All right, let's go round. Phil, give me one of yours.
Okay, quick news, listeners. Pew, 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 pew. Quick news. So, guys, my quick news is going to be really, really quick because it's an update on the news that I presented last episode with young Davey. And this is something that we got very, very excited about. And I clipped my excitement and put it out, and we got quite a few views on that one, and I think it encouraged a few more people to come over to the blue side and listen to our podcast, which was quite a nice thing, actually. Though those shorts have been going up thick and fast, and the community is growing, so new people coming in and seeing those shorts, you know, thank you very much for the support. But I'm, of course, talking about Marvel Maximum Collection, because we got a date revealed within a video that they put out. And that date, mark it on your calendars now, put it with a big X, book it off work, because March 27th, we're going to be playing Marvel Maximum Collection. And this is available to everybody. It's available on the PlayStation 5, over on the Xbox side, Steam, Nintendo, etc., etc. It's available everywhere, and everyone should get this and support this style of game, because we want more. We're getting loads of them, and I'm playing the vast majority of them, loving every single one of them. But the more we support it, the more we buy into it, the more we will get. And just as a little bit of extra, just as the cherry on top of this beautiful cake, this is available as a physical release from Limited Run Games, guys. So that's available. Short, small window for you to get a physical version of this game, but those are the guys that are going to be stocking it. And yes, it'll be on my shelf when that game comes out.
Dude, so in there with this. 27th of March. Let's fucking go. Nothing more to say. We waxed lyrical on it last time. But I would be interested to hear, Spence, are you interested in this? Obviously, I'm going to buy it, right? I'll have it digital, so you'll be able to join us on X-Men. Did this collection even do anything for you?
I've played these games. I have played these games, by the way. But I'm not like that young. I'm young, but I played them on an emulator, I think.
That's young.
Yeah,
That's
I suppose.
That is young. Yeah, that's young.
Yeah, no. As much as like I'm usually game as hell for this kind of news, like Streets of Rage, all them side-scrolling beat 'em ups. I adore TMNT Shredder's Revenge, loved it. For some reason, I just really don't give a shit. And I
Wild.
don't.
Wow.
I think it's just any time one of these comes out, we're all like, "Oh yeah, buy it," and then never fucking play it.
We played Shredder's Revenge, thank you very much.
Shredder's Revenge we played.
That's the
and that
last
was
one that
great.
we bought.
And I
Yeah,
played
that was
Cosmic
like a
Invasion.
new game, but like, I don't know. I could just emulate these if I wanted to play them.
Oh,
I'm not that
trophies then.
Oh,
first.
mate.
Yeah, I don't care. What, we can freaking let the game play itself, and then I tag in at the end and get a trophy. Brilliant.
Yes. Great.
I mean, yeah, it's just not worth it. I don't.
You don't
think.
even have to pay for this game, Spence.
Yeah,
I know.
You're getting it for
mug.
free and you're putting it down.
I submit, it's
Considering
just-
the opening and the sell that I gave it, this is you're besmirching my name right here, Spencer. This is my legacy side-scrolling beat 'em ups.
I'm happy. My origin was side-scrolling beat 'em ups too, but I'm happy to see this coming out because I think it's nice to see these games come back, especially some of the ones that were never actually released on home consoles. But who fucking cares, man? I'm playing Marathon. I'm
I
fucking-
do.
Bro,
I do.
You're gonna be playing Marathon, man. What are you on about?
We'll
It's
have it.
fine.
And it will sit there for a while.
Oh, brilliant!
But we'll
It'll
have
sit
it.
there
We'll have
until
it.
Marathon 2 comes out. Friggin', come on, man. It's gonna be great on the Portal. Fantastic on the Portal. That's about it.
Oh,
Pretty much everything is. I'm really not that fussed, and I feel like I should be because it's the kind of thing I would be excited over. But for some reason, when I heard you guys say this on the last step, I was just like, I really don't care.
oh, wow.
I know. I'll still play it.
A difference of opinion. How rare.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
Don't like it, Spence.
No.
I don't
No.
like it at all. Don't like
I have
it
less
at all.
time, mate. I have less time than I used to. So now it's just the games I play. They can't be old school fucking. I'll gotta play something new.
Just
Move
move
on.
on.
Move
Just
on, I
moving
think.
on. Moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Come on,
Moving
Davey, what you got?
So my first one is going to be a little bit more lighter touch for the first part. So I've actually managed to cheat quick news quite a bit because we normally have just two pieces to bring in, but I've managed to bundle quite a few things into one piece. So I hope you allow this, but I'll whip through them
No.
quite fast.
I was gonna say, Monologue
Alright.
Man himself has an entire page of the doc just dedicated to himself.
That's mostly context for you guys with the second piece of great news.
Yeah,
This one
man.
isn't very long. So I got a couple of release dates and not releasing news. So the Next Art Pictures, which you guys know I have this love-hate relationship with them, generally hate them, but still buy them every single time. We got the release date finally for Directive 8020, which is been developed for quite a while for Dark Picture standards. Coming out 12th of May. It looks great in the trailers. They always look great in the trailers. I will be buying it. I'll let you know how it is. I'm probably going to be in for a year of disappointment because I got Life is Strange coming out very soon. I'll let you know how that goes as well. Moving on then, we got some good news. Lego Batman, the release date is actually moved up. So they're confident in it. It's coming out now May 22nd. So mark your calendars. That's definitely a fucking day one for me. Honestly, I've got a feeling after I play it, it's going to be a contender for Game of the Year. I'm so fucking in on it. I already am so sold that I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those games that I finish. I'm like, fuck me, this is generational. Like, I've got a feeling I'm going to love it, man. Like, love it. Absolutely love it. I'm so excited.
Generational is
Mate,
insane.
I'm so excited for it, dude. Like, honestly, it's been so long since we've had Arkham. And even if it's Arkham in Lego, I'm going to be fucking all over it, bro. I can't wait. And I can play it through with Cass and you guys. Win-wins. Absolute win-wins.
Have you
And
seen what Lego's doing recently? They got
No.
bloody synthesizer bricks now that can like generate fucking AI sounds.
What?
Like
They've
Lego's
got bricks.
going next level, like physical Lego.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
weird. mate.
wild.
It's weird.
Wild what Lego is doing. I was listening to the Gadget Show podcast, and they had some of the new Star Wars merch on the show, and they were talking all about these bricks that you can add to them to sort of bring them to life for children. And as a child, doing something like that, man, that would just blow my mind. Children are so lucky these days that they can press all these buttons and all these different sounds come out. Back in our day, it was like you were lucky if you got some stickers to put on the side of your Lego or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like they've got like it makes it real. It's absolutely crazy what's possible now with Lego. Not that I'm turning a corner on Lego. I still absolutely hate the stuff. But it did look very interesting where they're going with it. But this game, you won't see me playing it.
No, I know. But after I start talking it up, mate, and then you get it for your birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we give it to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the final one, and this is the more big talking point. Obviously, you guys are welcome to jump in on any of the pieces I've covered here, but this is the kind of big one. But not an awful lot to say other than disappointment on this. Is that we've had news out that NetEase will stop funding a Nagoshi studio in May. Now, for those that don't know who that is, they're developing the Gang of Dragon game. If you remember when we saw that at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards, it looked phenomenal. It's the one that we were like, this looks too good to be a game. Well, it's apparently been reported that it needs another 44.4 million in funding to be completed. The team are trying to find new sponsors, but so far has had no success. So NetEase has dropped it. So it may well be a case of what they were showing was the kind of fidelity they were going for, and therefore it's just too expensive to do. I don't know. All I'm saying is that there's a high likelihood we're never seeing this again. So don't go expecting this, and certainly don't be putting into any shag, marry, kills unless it's in a crazy at this stage, because it ain't coming in. Any thoughts on any of the news I've covered here, lads?
You are the bearer of bad news once again, because we were quite hype, I think, after seeing Gang of Dragons, weren't we? Like we were shocked by it and intrigued and wanted more. But it's horrible to hear that the game was only announced like, what, 3 months ago? Something
Yeah.
ridiculous like that. And it's already getting binned. Like, how short-sighted must the kind of business side of that development studio be to run out of money that quickly, right? Because they'd obviously spent money to get it marketed and to get it out to people. And then for them to go, actually, we got no money left. Great. Like, when did they know that? Like,
Yeah.
that is short-sighted, man. Like,
Yeah.
as great as the game looked, and it did look really good, and as excited as we got when we saw that announcement, because we were in straight away, with that big guy beating up some guy in a bar. It looked great. Like, who's running that business? That's a poor decision on where they've gone, and you can only blame them for that.
Yeah, completely agree. It's one of those things. The NetEase, as much as they're being made out to be the bad guy here, they are the ones that hold the fucking purse strings, right?
Yeah.
And if it's a case that this studio aren't delivering and they're going to then need another 44 million, at some point you got to cut your losses, right? We've got to be used to that. This generation, PlayStation be doing it all the time with their live service push, just fucking cutting the shoestrings. Fucking Blue Point, not to labor that point, another disaster. This is one of those things that I agree with you, Phil. It sucks that NetEase doing it. It sucks for us because I was actually really looking forward to seeing more of this. But you're right. The buck's got to stop somewhere. And 44 million is not exactly something you just find behind the back of a sofa.
Yeah, you can't Kickstarter that, can you? I think
Kickstarter, yeah.
Yeah, you can't Kickstarter it, mate. You can't fundraise that. I think as much as it's awful news, and the game, who knows what state the game is in, who knows how long they were developing, how much work's been put in. The game looked fantastic, but for me, it was a game that I liked looking at. I was never going to buy. So, because it looked like a Yakuza game, which I think it pretty much was.
Yeah, it did. It did.
And I don't play the Yakuza games. I don't think any of us do. I don't think the game... I don't know how well Yakuza sells. I think it sells quite well, doesn't it?
I think it does really well, yeah. It does do well. I think for me, the reason why I was interested in it was that it felt like a good jumping on point for this kind of series that I'd never played before, in Yakuza.
Yeah.
So that's why it kind of grabbed me, and just how visually amazing it looked.
I would love them to get sponsorship, but by some egregious sponsors. I would love them to have McDonald's t-shirts when they're wandering around.
That'd be wild. Yeah,
or just Subway has sponsored them, wherever they go. Oh, do you know what? It's time for a sub. Oh, I'm hungry. What should I do? A Big Mac? Yes, I think Big Mac.
I don't think you know how well that would fit in the world of Yakuza, mate. That Yakuza plays like that.
That would be absolutely brilliant. It goes back to if you remember, Crazy Taxi was really bad for this. They used to have every kind of sponsorship going, and you would drive people to the Nike store or something like that. It was that ridiculous,
right? Yeah, it was.
Right? Imagine this game kind of ended up that way, where everyone kind of bought a piece of this game, and it was just so shoved down your throat. It would be brilliant, right? Because the graphics are cool, right? It's got the interest. It's got people wanting to buy this game. It just needs some in your face kind of pop-up advertising, like a website,
That'd be wild.
That's what it needs.
Pop-ups. It needs pop-ups instead of title screens, just pop-ups coming up that you have to then scroll through and read.
Man, I've had this idea. I think it was a dream I had, but it was just an idea. Why do we have loading screens when they could put an advert in there? I thought about this. Whenever you hit a loading screen, have an advert play.
That's what they do on Netflix now, isn't it? Even when you pause, they just put an advert up in front of you. It's all ad revenue and ad space. And video games, it's not going to take long till we start seeing more of this come back. But the problem is it's always licensing, isn't it, with video games? I know this probably brings us onto a much deeper talking point.
Yeah.
But that was the problem with Crazy Taxi, because when they brought it back, they'd blank everything out because they didn't have the sponsorships and they didn't have the licenses to show those graphics anymore, which is slightly disappointing because it loses something, because a game might be built around something like that. But I hope they find the sponsors, because I would like to see a finished version of this game. And I would like to see some sponsorship in my face.
It was, we should move on, because there is, we could go off quite a bit on this one. And there's things that are pulling at me from PS3 generation, where there was a lot of worrying about this being a thing, about it being live updated adverts in games on screens and things like that.
Yeah.
But we'll save that conversation for a time where it's a little bit more relevant, I think. In the spirit of quick news, let's move it on, shall we? Spence, we're coming back to yourself, I believe.
Say less. Quick news. So for my bit of news, lads, we have a slight potential leak regarding Mavel Tokon, Fighting Souls. There we go, look at that. Wow.
Good job I've done my Japanese Duolingo, because otherwise I wouldn't have a clue what you've been... You just said this, man.
I know. I felt a bit rusty then as well. I've not done my Japanese Duolingo in
Do you want me
months.
to translate, Davey?
Yeah, if you don't mind, please. Oh, okay, thank you. I needed subs on.
Subs. You need that person in the corner who's doing all this.
Sign language.
It's called sign language, mate.
Yeah. No, obviously. Come on.
Doing all this. I don't know what they're doing.
Having a crazy time, cheers.
Just
what's wild
dancing.
is like doing symbols and stuff on an audio podcast
Yeah, I
as well,
know.
when you could just said sign language.
Yeah.
It's not like it's something that people don't even know either.
Yeah,
you
but it
know?
wouldn't be funny if you just
Sign
said
language,
sign language.
what?
You got to do the thing. You got to make it funny, man. All right. Well, there's a potential leak regarding this game, and it's that 2 characters could be coming to the roster, and the characters are Mags, Big Magneto, everyone's goat, and the Scarlet Witch. However, this has since been updated, and it's been removed from the website which leaked it. But this leads on to other things. Obviously, last reveal we had Team X-Men. We didn't see Mags there. Next reveal could be another team. What team would it even be? Especially if these are the 2 characters to follow. How could it be Mags if Team X-Men's done? How is Scarlet Witch involved? Would it be Team Avengers? Would it be Team...
Bad
it could be
Guys.
both. It could be Scarlet Witch, Mags' daughter. Who knows? Give me your thoughts, boys. Davey, I came to you first last time. Phil, what are you thinking?
Well, it's got to be Team Bad Guy, isn't it? You
Team
know, Scarlet
villains.
Witch kind of toes the line between both sides, and maybe she's an evil version of Scarlet Witch, you know, an aggressor, if you like. And Magneto, again, is your anti-hero, you know, anti-villain. He does a bit of both, depending on what viewpoint you have, you know. You can side with Magneto and believe everything he goes for. You know, a lot of people do, right? I'm a big fan of Magneto. I've got lots of his merch, got his helmet. You might have seen me on a past podcast sporting that. I haven't actually put it up in the new office just yet, but once I get that out of storage, it might make another appearance. But I was gassed to see these 2 join the roster, or, you know, rumored to join the roster. I believe it. I think it's pretty obvious that you need Magneto. You need a big bad, and Magneto can sort of fill that role, as well as being a character everyone knows. You know, he's not an Annihilus or someone like that who would be a little confusing. And considering the characters that have come out for Marvel Fighting Souls, some of them, they're a little bit off the wall. They're a little bit... Even the people that like Marvel and have watched all the Disney Channel TV shows wouldn't have a clue about. So having a mainstay like Magneto, I think, is a big deal, as well as Scarlet Witch, because she's mega popular in all the movies. So it's kind of a no-brainer, I think, to have those 2 within the game. And I look forward to potentially playing these 2 when they do enter the roster. But I'm thinking bad guy roster. I think that could be next. I think you need some evil coming into the characters that you can play, and Mags and Scarlet Witch possibly could fall into that bracket.
Okay, I see what you mean. So it'd be similar, like Team X-Men. They did the X-Men led by Storm, who was already in the game. So it could be like Team Villains led by like Doom or something. Who knows?
Yeah, Doom and Mags.
Yeah. Doom and Mags, what a combo. All right, Davey, mate, what are you thinking? Lay it on us.
I think this is completely true. I really do. I think in terms of teams, I think, like Phil said, in terms of villain team, 100% Magneto going on the side with Doctor Doom. I think there's another character to finish that roster that we don't know who that is yet. I think that Scarlet Witch goes on to the Avengers. She was a classic Avenger. Has been. She's not like the Holy Trinity of Avengers, you know, with Iron Man, Thor, and Cap, but they're bucking the trend a bit here when it comes to teams anyway, like putting Danger in above like Cyclops or someone else that you'd expect for X-Men. So I think there's nothing to say that we can't have her on a different type of Avengers team, you know, where it's just called, instead of being called like, I don't know, it just could be the Astonishing Avengers or something like that, like a different kind of name that you're used to having for Avengers, and having her in that role. I think that would work really well. I think what's interesting about Mags obviously is a fighting game mainstay, right? Very synonymous with Capcom and all the Capcom fighting games, much like Wolverine is. So I think it's someone that if he wasn't here, it would feel weird him not being here, you know, like he's such a mainstay for that way. But Scarlet Witch is the one that I'm really interested in because she's never really been done before. So it means they got so much license to do whatever they want to do with her. And with her, you know, reality warping abilities, you could just have some fun stuff going on. So I think it gives them a lot of creative license, and that's the one I'm really interested in seeing. I do fully believe this. Even though it's not the characters I ultimately want, for me personally, I'd still be very excited to see them, and I certainly wouldn't be disappointed.
The question is she going to be a bit of a Phoenix character, do you think, in this game? Because she is one of the more powerful kind of potential characters within this game, right? Would she have some element where she becomes very overpowered, do you think? Do you think that's a possibility for Scarlet Witch?
I think it could be. I mean, nothing's off the table, right? And so far, we've seen certain things that give like installs and things like that, but not to like a crazy degree. I wouldn't put it past having something. It's just how they do it will be the interesting thing. And honestly, it'll be interesting next time we see the game anyway, because even the little bits that we've seen for trailers, and there was a post that they put out the devs that didn't make it into quick news on the time that it came out about the different updates that they've made to the game since the overwhelming feedback that they received. So it's going to be a totally different game to what we last played the next time we get our hands on it anyway. So I'd say the world's open to any kind of possibility. I kind of don't want it for her to have some kind of install like that. I think they could just do something. They could just have a cool ass moveset, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to go anything with like installs and stuff. I think you kind of leave that door open for Jean Grey, I do. And just leave it there.
It's not just an X-Men game, mate.
No, I
He loves
know.
it though, didn't he?
I know. It's like every character you want's like X-Men.
You could do it with Hulk,
I'm the
for God's
same.
sake. You could have Hulk come in and it be Grey Hulk, for example, and then you do an install and go green, and have him as Savage Hulk or something. Like, there's loads of characters that could have installs. A fucking Wolverine having like a Berserker mode. Thor's got his own Berserker mode. You could have an install with that. There's loads of characters that could have these kind of things. I think with her, like, much like when we saw Danger, right, and her moveset was cool as fuck. I think Scarlet Witch, they could just have free license to do something cool with, and that would be enough. For me personally, anyway.
I don't know. I believe this to be true as well. Completely believe it. Mags, you kind of know what to expect with Mags. I can't imagine him being too much different from how he's been in Marvel in the past. But I'd quite like for them not to do Mags. I think. I love Mags. I think he's the GOAT. And he's just like a proper presence. And he's a fan favorite. But this isn't Marvel vs. Capcom. This is Arxis' own version. And they can choose anything they want. I don't want them to just make, as much as I do want Marvel vs. Capcom, I want them to make it their own. And they have done that already. They've successfully done that. But I want to see that in the character choices as well. And I think they have done that a bit with, like you've said, characters like Danger. But like Wolverine, you knew he's going to be in there because it's a Marvel game. But I don't want to. I'd like to see them buck that trend on those characters quite a lot. And Scarlet Witch, the only install I can kind of think of is if they take it from, like, say, the MCU WandaVision, where it's the like bubble of runes kind of fucking bullshit. They do something like that. But I don't know. I don't want it to be another Jean Grey because that's like make her her own character, I think.
I've got an alternative viewpoint on this one, if you will. I think it possibly could be shit. This could be just completely made up, right? From a marketing point of view, you understand that if you put something out like this, right, it's going to draw a lot of people to your website. Now, I've never been on ozone.bg before, okay? But, everyone has gone to that website to check it out, haven't they? Because of this leak. Just imagine in this maybe alternative world, because I actually do believe the rumor, that they've done this on purpose, just to get thousands of people that are interested in this news to their website. I don't know if that's ever happened in history. I can't put my finger on it. Is if something like this has ever, happened in terms of kind of a bit of news just to attract people, but actually it's just completely made up. Probably has happened, but it's just an alternative view that possibly there might be a clever marketeer out there that has just chosen these characters and thought, well, they're Marvel characters, it's going to be in the game, and just wrote a bit of copy.
I think it's just Bulgarian, mate, so you wouldn't have been on it.
Yes. I
What,
think
they don't
it's
do
that.
marketing in Bulgaria?
No,
of course, but like for Bulgaria, why would we know about this website?
I think there's a bigger thing at play here in that it would just come under like false advertising rules. right? Like, if you were to come out just with a load of fake shit.
They just lie.
Yeah, but
Just
I know for
lying
putting
about
things on websites, right? If you take it down, no one, like ultimately, you could be like, it was a mistake, right? There
Also-
is some sort of license within that. If you put it up for so long, you can take it down, right? It's not the end of the world when it comes to a video game and you're announcing characters.
I don't know. What if I bought it specifically for Magneto and Scarlet Witch?
Then they
and
just give you your money back and slap round the face, mate.
Yeah, until say a lot of people did buy it though. Say that we take it to its natural, logical conclusion, right?
Sure.
If someone did do it and they had it up there, they had it up for, I don't know, 30 days, right? So they could get the most amount they could out of it.
Yeah.
People pre-order on the base of that. And then next thing you know, there's a fucking class action lawsuit with some Americans
From
"Excuse
America?
me."
Well, you can do exactly what 4chan has done, and you can send a giant marsupial
I love that.
with a peanut.
Yeah, Godzilla.
Because
Godzilla
that's
wrapper on.
exactly how you get out of class action lawsuits. You just put your middle finger up because you are the internet and you're untouchable.
I don't think that really works for like a company like this, but you get my point, right? Like these marketing blurbs are sent to these places for them to be able to put it on. So it's highly unlikely this is fake, right?
Oh,
Yeah, how much do you know
100%.
about Bulgarian law, bro?
Yeah, none. Zero.
Might be a
Yeah.
loophole, mightn't there?
They in the EU?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
close enough.
It's the EU, right? Bulgaria, they're part of EU, surely.
They use their own currency in Bulgaria.
Yeah, so do Poland.
I can't actually. What the fuck?
You just search as Bulgaria in the EU.
I know, yeah, I have. I have.
Let's
They're
ask
trying
Google.
its hardest. No, they used the euro. They used the euro.
Oh, they are
Yeah.
then.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it'd be under EU law. So yeah, they get fucked. So yeah, this is real. this is real, bro.
It was just an idea.
I like the idea.
I just like the opportunity where you can do some, and in marketing they call it like black hat marketing, where you kind of look at the potential of something happening, which is kind of a little bit grey when it comes to the ethics, and lots of people do that. That's how you actually make any kind of money in these areas, and you've got
course.
to have someone to
like
try it
clickbait.
and to sort of get burnt. But yeah, no, I completely agree. This is real. They've just made a mistake, but I just quite liked the speculation that possibly there could be a clever marketeer behind this.
I like it. I like always taking a thought experiment, seeing where it kind of ends up.
Yeah.
Oh, Spence, are you
He's
having a
deep in Google
crisis
now.
over
Bro,
over
apparently
Bulgaria?
it's been a member of the EU since the 1st of Jan 2026,
Oh, wow. Very recent member.
which I feel like can't be correct. So that's why I'm like, what?
Well, we're not in the EU these days, mate. So maybe they took our membership.
Took us-
UK's
the
out,
free space.
Bulgaria, you're in.
What the hell?
you
Maybe,
go, mate.
maybe, yeah.
If
maybe.
you are
cheap.
listening from Bulgaria, please let us know in the comments.
It's supposed to be nice to go on holiday to Bulgaria. Apparently, it's quite cheap to go.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it's
good
no
for they do
tax.
skiing too.
as well,
They
apparently.
just apparently you could do skiing and beach holidays in Bulgaria.
And you can write what the fuck you like on your website.
Exactly.
Yeah,
this
just lie to people.
this episode is sponsored by Bulgaria. Please visit Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Crazy sponsor that.
It's like all the football players were like, bloody visit Rwanda. Who the
Yeah.
fuck is visiting Rwanda? What
You-
Arsenal fan is thinking, do you know where I should go? Rwanda.
Yeah, well, they couldn't even get migrants to this country to go to Rwanda.
Exactly.
Let alone getting Arsenal fans to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Oh, it's correct, by the way. Bulgaria joins the EU after a rocky path to new currency. It is the poorest country in the EU.
Wow. There you
Wow.
go.
There you go.
The more
Everything's
Really
cool
popular
there.
websites, though.
Bulgarian facts
Yeah.
on NPS We Trust.
Yeah,
I bet you
yeah.
never expected that on episode
That's
132, because I
crazy.
certainly didn't. Right, well, moving on then. Moving on, shall we?
Moving on. Who did I go to last time? I believe it
Me.
was Phil. Crack on, mate. Crack on. Give us that bit of news.
Okie doke. Well, I've been filling my shopping basket once again. And this one's a biggie, especially for myself. So I'm, of course, talking about Dave the Diver in the Jungle. We have a trailer and we have a release date. We saw this at the Future Games Show, the Spring Showcase 2026. That's the channel if you guys want to go and watch it. Of course, it'll be on the official Dave the Diver channel as well. And the game comes out on the 18th of June, day after my brother's birthday. So guess what he's getting for his birthday? Yes, you've guessed it. Some Steam credits so he can buy Dave the Diver in the Jungle, because it looks incredible. It's one of those games that have been on my watch list for, quite a while, because we've been waiting for this one. I have anyway. But at the end of said trailer, we got a little bit of a treat, guys. We got the announcement of the Dave the Diver Collector's Edition, a whopping £70 for Dave the Diver, the complete edition. This comes out on the 30th of September. This is a physical complete edition, as I said, with all the DLC. You get a keyring, you get a necklace, you get a pin, you get a poster. What else do you want? Of course, an acrylic stand of Bancho's sushi stand. You get everything Dave the Diver within this and every single game for a mere £70, and it's up on Amazon to pre-order right now. And your boys pre-ordered it because I fucking love Dave the Diver, and
Well done,
I've played that enough for £70. I know it's a lesser title. You would consider it an indie title, but the amount of hours that I put in, and I've got the platinum for the original game. I'm really looking forward to the add-on here, but I probably won't be playing it in June because there's so many games. So I'm hoping by the time it comes out in September, it's quieted down a little bit. So I've got some time to play Dave the Diver, but probably not knowing PlayStation. So I don't know when I'm going to fit it in. But at the end of the day, it's a physical release. It's going to look beautiful up on my shelf. I've really struggled with finding space in my old place, but I have a much larger office now that I've moved to Wales, so I can fill it with pointless merch, such as an acrylic stand of Bancho's sushi stands. So I'm gassed. Now, guys, did you see this trailer? For Dave the Diver in the Jungle. And did you see the beautiful collector's edition that was launched at the end of the video? Davey, I'm going to come to yourself first.
I did see it, yeah. And I immediately thought of you and I wondered if you were going to buy it or not, especially the collector's edition.
Oh, I'm a sucker, mate.
I'm glad you have, mate, because it's much like the same with me with Expedition 33, you know? Like, I like the fact that they're doing this more and more now, that games that have already come out are getting another collector's edition, because it means that if you've fallen in love with it since like its initial kind of release, that you can get something. And this is a small team who are doing this, you know? Like, this is a nice way to support them as well. So, all for it, I really am. Not for me. I need to play Dave the Diver. I do fancy it. I just haven't played it yet. September, mate, you ain't playing this, I'm telling you now. You got Wolverine out. And we don't even know when GTA's out.
Yeah,
so
that is true. Looming above us, isn't it?
Yeah.
GTA.
Yeah. So you ain't playing it. But who knows? Maybe you will. Maybe you'll think, oh, I don't need to play Wolverine.
Might be a
I'll play
portal
Dave
game,
the Diver.
mightn't it, Dave the Diver?
Very
Potentially,
true.
it could fill that space, you know, when
Yeah.
you're lying on the sofa and you can't use the TV because it's, someone else is on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gets
Right.
priority.
What about yourself, Spence? Seen this?
No. No, but I pulled up an image of the collector's edition, and I thought, what a shit collector's edition. But for 70 quid, I know, a bit harsh. And then I've thought about it since. Whilst you've been gushing about this game, I thought about it a bit more, and it actually, mate, I think it's very sweet. It is a nice little thing that they are doing post-release, same as you said, Davey, in regards to Expedition. And for you to be picking this up, Phil, is very, very sweet, and actually makes me want to play this game, because clearly
you're an old
you love
PC
it
head,
so
mate,
much.
so you should be on this one. And I could see you wearing that cute little dolphin necklace. That looked beautiful on you, mate.
I'm not buying this. I think if I'm going to play this game, I'll wait till, Davey the Diver gets it on digital, and then maybe I'll play it. We got it on free, did we? Did we not get it free?
I think it's part of the service. The original, the base game is. Yeah, you've got no excuse, mate.
I'm not playing this game. I'll be honest. I'm not playing this game. It's one of those things where, like, maybe in a quiet period, but then there's just always something else to play, man. And I really admire how much you adore this game, and it does make me want to play it. But it's just not going to happen. And I'm just being honest, mate. I'm just being honest. Fair. It's not
absolutely
happening.
Fair.
I literally can't argue with that, Spence.
No,
I think I'd love it, mate. I think I'd love it, but it's not happening.
He's covered himself quite well there. It's quite hard to argue against that, isn't it?
Just nope. I'm not playing it.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Okay.
I think I'd love this game. Not
Moving
Atlas.
on.
Well, speaking of games that Spencer's not going to play, here's a big piece of news for this, and I put quite a lot of context into the doc Spencer was ripping me about earlier, just for everyone else. And I'll give some of this to you, audience, as well. So, the top level news is that a judge has ordered that Subnautica 2 studio, the CEO, who was fired by Krafton, to be reinstated and gives him full control over early access Steam launch. Now, Subnautica 2. Its early access has been revealed. Its release is coming May 2026 to both Xbox on their early access program and PC. So for us on PlayStation, we'll be waiting for a while for the full game to launch, whenever that is. I'm happy waiting for it. The context to some of this, audience, if you're wondering what's going on. So Krafton bought Unknown Worlds in 2021, and the deal included a huge performance-based bonus if Subnautica 2 hit certain milestones. Now, what happened then is Krafton then came in and binned off the studio heads as one of the reasons, basically, ultimately came down to the fact they didn't want to pay this performance bonus, right? That's mainly it. That's mainly it. So they kicked them off. And so they took them to court and they won. They said that Krafton's claims of it being mismanaged, failing to meet expectations, and abandoning responsibilities were completely unfounded. And so they've given them full operational control of Unknown Worlds again, complete authority over the early access launch, already covered, protection from further interference by Krafton, which is amazing, and the reactivation of the massive bonus, up to 250 million through September 2026. Hence the reason why this is launching in early access in May. So for those that aren't up to speed on this, Subnautica, I'm a huge fan. I love Subnautica 1. I really enjoyed the DLC that came out, the separate kind of expansion to that, the Frozen one as well. But Subnautica slaps fucking tits, and Subnautica 2 allows that to be played in co-op, which I'm so fucking in for. What do you think about this news, boys? Because as far as I'm aware, from my entire life, I don't think I've ever seen something like this happen. And I thought this was a fucking major, major win. So I wanted it called out here. What are your kind of thoughts? Phil, I'm going to come to you first on this.
Guess who's back? Back again. Ted Gill is back. The CEO is back in charge. And no, I've never heard of something as crazy as this happening. Now, I'm surprised because obviously this is sort of public knowledge now, and the internet via our podcast is now getting the news. And what I want to do is start to rally our listeners. Get the pitchforks out. Actually, put the pitchforks away, get your wallets out, because we all need to support this game, and let's get Ted Gill his £250 million bonus. Dollar bonus, okay. Slightly less than pounds, but it's still a butt ton of money. We should all support this game because it's a big fuck you to Krafton and everybody and the shareholders there trying to screw this guy out because they knew they had gold with this game and they just didn't want to give him the bonus, which they promised him. Right? They wrote that into his contract. That was his before they got rid of him. And now the law has put his foot down and he's back in charge. As I said, Ted Gill is back. So I'm a big Ted Gill supporter. I need a t-shirt. As we talked about t-shirts, I need a Ted Gill t-shirt. That's what I need right now.
Ted Gill's back. I just love the fact that the judge is like, yeah, this is completely unfounded. And the fact that, like, Ted Gill founded this studio, right? Like, it's his work that made Subnautica, and he was just doing Subnautica too, and they're like, time for you to go. It's like, what? And instead of just taking it, like a lot of people probably would have just taken it, he's like, fuck this, I'm taking this to court. And
good on him.
Yeah, the laws
good on him.
ruled in his fucking favour, so well done. And I bet the studio are absolutely buzzing because it just means Krafton just got to stay hands off now. Like, there must be the best fucking deal ever for a studio. It's probably like what Media Molecule are on now. Maybe they've taken them to court for all we know because they're fucking Sony are hands off as fuck on that. And Krafton are going to have to stay fucking well clear. And they're going to fucking make money on the back end, hand over fist, right? Like, if Subnautica 2 is as big a deal as Subnautica 1 was, and it's only gotten bigger over time as streamers and everyone else has kind of fell in love with it, they're on for a good fucking thing here, a good ride. And I just hope this early access is good enough for those people that get in there. I'm not interested in playing in early access. I do not care. I want to see it when it's fully done. And so everyone else can beta test it, much like The Forest and The Forest 2, which I'm looking forward to playing when that gets a full release. I can wait. I can wait till that point. So, yeah, really well done. What about yourself, Spence? What are your thoughts?
But I think this is some of the most interesting gaming news we've had in a long, long time. And if it was tied to any other game, I might care. But
Mate, you're such a generation hater today.
Yeah.
Such
No.
a hater.
to be fair, mate, it's really interesting news. I actually think it's really quite cool news. And it's actually finally the people who are getting sacked are winning. Because every time it's layoffs, cancel studio, cancel games, delay. This time, someone was unfairly sacked, comes back, and just wins. And this deal, like you said, Davey, must be insane because Krafton can't do shit except pay them. That's literally all they're able to do. No input whatsoever, but have to fork out the cash.
Based
It's
on success.
immense.
Only if it succeeds.
Well, they still got to pay his salary, no?
Well, they got
'Cause
paid
he's
salary, but it's more
reinstated,
more
yeah.
about the big bonus payout that
Yeah,
I
of
think they're
course.
trying to avoid, right? The bonus is very large. But imagine this game bombs. That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it?
Oh, he's getting sacked if this game bombs. I'll
Both
tell you
ends
what.
of the spectrum, I feel, is quite funny, right?
Yeah.
If it's a massive success, it's quite funny that they've had to pay him the money after trying to get rid of him in a really shady way, or at least what that it sounds like from the way you presented it, Davey. But if this game bombs, that's hilarious as well, right? So what does the internet want to do? I don't know. I don't know what I want. I quite like this game, though, from when you spoke about Subnautica 1, and I think it is a game that I would personally vibe with. So I would really like to play this game and have this opportunity to play this one with yourself, David, at some point. So I'm going to be a supporter. I'm going to put the Ted Gill t-shirt back on, actually.
Hell
I
yeah.
ripped it off for a second there, but I'm back.
I'm glad you're back in the fold. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're going to be waiting a while. I mean, 2027 will be lucky if we see this. It might even be 2028. I don't know. Depends on what kind of state it gets launched into. But we still haven't seen Sons of the Forest yet on PS5, and that launched a while ago on into early access. So,
Years ago.
yeah, so I'm not expecting it anytime soon. I'm certainly not expecting it this year. But whenever it does come out, it's going to have my undivided attention, and you will definitely hear about it on the show. That's for damn sure. So all the best to Ted Gill. Hope the early access goes well in May. And for you Xbox and PC players, I hope early access is fun for you. I'm quite happy to wait. And that brings quick news to a close. Quite a short quick news compared to ones from previous episodes, but all the same, audience. I hope you enjoyed it. We are going to be moving on now to our topic. Stop! Topic time! And here we are, the topic, and today's topic is an absolute juicer. We got listener questions, baby, so it's time to go from one jingle straight into another. There once was a show some time ago that asked 4 questions every fortnight or so. It became so rare they weren't prepared to have a versatile rhyme. Oh God, I'm scrambling now to get a word that rhymes, so how can I wrap this up? I'll take this mail and go. So our first question comes in from Miscellaneous. They ask, how do you feel about the oversaturation of Chris and Leon since their popularity due to the games which can't be mentioned 4 and 5? And for the purpose of this, I'd say the button's off.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
It'd be
I was
ridiculous.
wondering how you were going to ask that question without saying it. So I'm glad you said that the button is off for this question only.
No, the other one as well, surely.
Yeah.
For the final one, right?
Yeah. True.
Okay.
True.
So the button's off for the full topic.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay,
Why
good,
not?
good.
If we start going off into the game we can't really mentioned massive discussions, I'm going to pull it back on track. All right.
Okay.
But here we go. So, question again: how do you feel about the oversaturation of Chris and Leon since their popularity due to Resident Evil 4 and 5? Spence, coming to you first.
I don't feel there is an oversaturation, I'll be honest. I mean, there's a lot of it, but really, really, we hadn't seen Leon other than remakes. We hadn't seen him since 4, because he's in 6, but everyone's in 6.
Oh, come on. He's 6. 6 is the last time
Yeah,
we've
but
seen him.
everyone's in 6, man.
Yeah, well, not
literally-
everyone.
Pretty much.
There's Chris, Leon, Jake, Sherry, Ada.
That's enough.
It's not everyone, though.
Yeah, but it's who you'd expect, I suppose. But it's like,
Oh,
come on, man. It's fine. And then we haven't seen Leon since 6. And even then, it wasn't, I mean, Leon's story is the default story, but it's not a Leon game, you know?
no, very true.
The only Leon game we had prior to that, 2 and 4. This is only, like, the new one is only, like, the 3rd Leon game, really. He's only half of it. So I don't think there's that much of an oversaturation at all. Especially now you consider it's the 3rd time you've really played as Leon. 4th with 6. And he's like 50 odd. I don't think it's that bad whatsoever. Chris, I think, is more oversaturated. But even then, I don't agree with it again. I think it's fine. Perfectly fine. Because you didn't really... Like, when do you play as him? In 1? 5?
1 Code Veronica, 5, 8.
Yeah, that's fine.
And 8's very fleeting.
Very
isn't it?
fleeting. And he's in it. He has
He
a presence
appears
in
in
it.
7, though.
He does
Yeah.
appear in 7.
Is that him?
But
Not
Yeah.
to give anything away, but he does appear in 7.
yeah, he's on screen for about a minute, isn't he?
I
a
would
minute
argue
too
that's
long.
not him, mate. I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I'd
look like
argue
him.
it's someone else. Yeah, it doesn't look like him. But yeah, I honestly, I don't think there's that much of an oversaturation. I think they're the most common characters. They're the ones we've seen the most, sure. But I don't really see much of an issue with that. Would I like to see the other characters? Claire, Gill? Absolutely. But it's fine. I don't really have any issue with it. And I'd like to see more of them. I'm happy to see more of them, as long as they fit the games that they are a part of.
Mm-hmm. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy? Are you on the same lines?
No, I think I disagree with Spencer on this one. I feel like there is quite an oversaturation of these two characters. And I'm not just talking about games, and obviously Spencer's been through the games that they've been in recently. But what you've got to think about is that we've been getting remakes, right? Resident Evil, and it feels great to be able to say it, is going through its renaissance, isn't it? It's coming back with remake after remake of games, popular games. Capcom are very much, whacking that money stick, right? They're earning the big bucks on the older games, which people have the nostalgia to. We waxed lyrical earlier about how 9 now goes back to that tree and whacks it a little harder for that extra buck. So yeah, you're very much getting Leon and Chris shoved down your throat at the moment in everything. And as I said, it's not just the games, it's all the kind of CG movies as well. It's all the nostalgia. It's like, here's more Leon because we feel like he is the most popular character. So I do feel there's an oversaturation of these characters, and I understand where this listener, who will remain nameless, is sort of coming from. And I've spoken to him sort of in separate conversations, and I understand he's very much of the feeling that he wants it to go in a different direction, and that's fair, right? This fan base of Resident Evil is diverse and large these days. It isn't just like me pirating things from the video shop anymore, right? And having a couple of mates round and saying, oh yeah, you try and do the tyrant fight, right? I can't do it, or something like that, as it maybe went when I was a little bit younger. And actually the game got taken off us because it was too scary back in the day on a sleepover. I think I've told that story before. But am I upset with it? No, sir, because I love it. As I said at the start, I absolutely love seeing more Leon and Chris. I love seeing all the old characters returning. It hasn't got too much for me just yet. That opinion may change once I get to the end of 9. But at the moment, I'm cool with it. I don't think it's too much for me because it's exactly what I want from it. I feel like Resident Evil as a series tried to go in a slightly different direction with 7 and 8, and it was great. But am I happier that we're back with Leon and Chris and a more known story and known characters, yes. But with the addition of someone like Grace, who is that kind of unknown, that question mark when you're going into the story. So I like familiarity, but I also like the new stuff. So I'm a complicated beast, guys. I like both ends of the spectrum. And it's exactly what Krafton has given us. So I've got no problem with it, but I do agree with them. It is quite oversaturated with Leon and Chris. More so Leon because of the marketing. He's the poster boy for Resident Evil. So Capcom are going to cash in because that's where the money is. It's in Leon's pockets.
Fair. I side more in line with Spence on this. I don't think they are oversaturated. I think, like, if you look back and you're taking the CG movies into account, which I very much don't. If you do, then I can see it being a case, right? And it was a big deal when Jill Valentine returned in the last CG movie. That was a big selling point to go watch it, and fuck me, what a waste of my time again. So and we did like a 2-hour fucking podcast on this on my fucking YouTube.
Longer than the movie.
The last thing I uploaded was our fucking talk on that. That's fucking how depressing that is to leave my channel on that fucking sour note. Yeah, I don't think there is. I don't think there is a saturation. I think at the moment they've been used sparingly when they've popped up. And Leon feels like a lot just because we had 4 Remake recently. Whereas, you know, if we hadn't had that, then it would feel like it's been a long time since we've seen Leon. And I personally, would I prefer other characters right now to make a return rather than Leon and Chris? Yes. I'm a massive stan for Jill Valentine. I love Jill Valentine. She's my favourite Stars member. Barry Burton, I would fucking love to have him come back. And it's nice to see the little mentions that were there when you're exploring the RPD in 9 to have some things from Barry. Love that kind of shit. Half expected the helicopter that happens in 9 for Barry to be in that from earlier on in the game. Not saying when that is, but I half expected it and it wasn't there. I don't think they are oversaturated is where I'm getting to with this, with Chris and Leon, and they are the poster boys. Chris is the OG, right? Like, he is from Resident Evil 1, he's in Code Veronica, he's in 5, he's in 6. He's the guy, right? Like, this is the guy that took out Alba Wesker. He's a fucking big deal. You know, if he's on the scene, it's a big deal. And it made sense for him to be the agent that's there to make sure 7 and 8 kind of goes the way it does. I thought it made sense. It made more sense him turning up at the end of 7 than it does for Leon or Jill Valentine. I thought that would have felt out of place. Whereas it being Chris on the scene, I'm like, okay, this makes sense. This guy's fucking seen more than anyone. This guy's seen more action than anyone. Makes sense. But they've been used very short and sharp that they've been in there. It's the first time we're getting something quite substantial with the Resident Evil main character for a long time outside of remakes when it comes to Leon. It's been since 6. You know, it's been a fucking over a decade. It's been a long time since we've had some time in some original format with some of these characters in substantial time. So, no, I don't think there are saturation, although I would like to see what Claire and Jill have been up to. Jill especially has only had 2 real entries. I know she's, if we're talking about Revelations and things like that, she's been in more entries, yes, of course. But if we're talking mainline, you know, 1 and 3 for Jill, and with fucking Claire, you're talking what? 2, Code Veronica, and that's it, right?
Comes back in 5, right?
Claire?
No,
Jill.
Jill does.
Jill.
Oh, Jill's in 5 too, yes. Yes, she
You don't
is.
play her, but you could play her in the multiplayer, couldn't you?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could,
true,
yeah.
true. So, yeah, I think it's time to get some of the girls, some shine on the girls, I think.
Bring Rebecca back as well.
Rebecca Chambers, yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
while. Outside of CG,
Yeah.
she's not been in anything, has she? So
0, and that was it, right? Yeah.
0 and 1, yeah.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
playable in 1, obviously.
Not playable. Mentions in the new game.
Yeah, true.
Or
So-
mention.
Let's get some girls back in. I want to see what Sheva's been up to. I love Sheva.
Shabba.
Sheva.
That's crazy.
Chris!
That's like saying
Chris!
this, Jake.
Oh, that guy in the DLC where you're running for the
Bradley.
helicopter.
Brad, yeah.
Yeah.
Get Brad.
I think he died, didn't he?
Does he die in Desperate Escape? I can't remember.
I
Can't remember.
Don't know.
Anyway,
We'll have to replay him.
yeah, I have to. Do you know what? I'd quite happily go back and do 5 again. I don't know
Good.
why.
So would I.
I think I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Even though me and Phil got the platty for that, and that was a hard fucking draft that was. I wouldn't mind going back because there's some fucking great moments in 5.
It's fun, man.
Yeah, it is fun. Right, I hope that answers your question, Misk. We see where you're coming from. Myself and Spence don't agree. Phil does. We'll leave it there. But thank you ever so much for writing in. Next question is from Red CD. Twice in a row you've been featured, Red CD. Well done. He says, flex on us. What are all of your hardest platinums? And he says, Davey, no including Silk Song. Glad you asked. I'm glad you said. To be fair, I don't think Silk Song would have been on my list anyway as my hardest platinum. And I think, guys, this is a tough one, right? Because hardest is a tricky one to pin down sometimes.
Yeah, it's a vague term.
Yeah, hard, you could say that it was hard because of the graft that it took, even if the challenge wasn't actually overly difficult. I think that would count. You could have it just being a difficult time, even if it wasn't particularly long. There's a lot of different ways you can take it. So I'm going to kick it off on this one. For me, the one that comes to mind, and it's certainly not my proudest platinum, because as I've stated many times, that's Resistance 2 is my proudest platinum. That's the longest grind I think I put in specifically for a platinum. My one that was hard, it took me a long time to be able to do it, is Crash Bandicoot Insane Collection for Crash Bandicoot 1. That was fucking solid. I remember so vividly, I was in my second house, sorry, I lived in. And I remember being in the living room late at night and fucking screaming at my TV, doing I can't remember what the level's called now, but it's all bridges. And you've got to do it on a time trial. So you've got to do it one fluid take through it without dying as quick as you can, which means like jumping onto the side of the drawbridge ropes and then jumping off platforms. It's so fucking hard, and I spent so many fucking hours on that trophy, and at multiple nights of literally just putting it down and be like, fuck this, I'm never getting it, and then being like, I've done everything else, this is the last thing for me to do to get this platinum, and then finally achieving it. And it was such like a yes moment when I did it. I was so happy with myself. And checking on it, it's not even rare. It's a 0.8. So a lot of people have this, but that's probably the hardest one I think I've ever done. So fucking hard. What about yourself, Spence?
For me, for some reason, it's not going to be the one I'm going to go with. But the one that comes to mind is fucking Manhunter. You know that shark game? And it wasn't
easy.
No, easy platty. But hard on my controller, poor pad, mashing R2, and that pad died. And because the R2 went on it. After
Definitely that.
But I reckon that's what did it. And I've only just now thought about that. But the R2 went when I was playing God of War ages later, and the R2 went. So I reckon Manhunter had some play in that. And also, just, it wasn't that good a game. So, like, It was fine. So it was, you weren't, like, miserable playing it, but you weren't exactly happy. And you're just mashing R2 because that's all the game is. It's like My Name is Mayo, but something's actually happening on the screen. And that is why I think, and except longer, it was like 8 hours. That one was a slog, I think. It's not what I'll go with, but I would happily have that as my hardest for a lot of reasons. But it wasn't really hard. It was just mentally hard because you got all these great games sitting there and you're just spamming R2 as a shot. Like, come on. But the one I'll go with is the one that I have a real life platinum for because it took me a long time. The Last of Us 1, the remastered PS4 version, took me ages to get. Lot of grinding, lot of issues with the platinum and the trophies, a lot of having to reset. I think I had to beat the game again because something bugged, and I did that. The multiplayer was a fucking ball ache, and my platinum clip is me leaving the game. I remember that, and that is just hard to watch.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, and that's when it popped, and you can hear me go, oh, on the cliff.
No, that sucks,
And I'm like,
dude.
fuck, man. Like 65 hours put into this. I was like, fuck me. But dropped a lot of shit then. But I got my platinum.
Hey.
I'm happy. I'm happy with it. And I've since platinumed the remake and number 2 and number 2 remake. And I'll tell you what, it was hard. But that doesn't mean it was bad. And I would do it again.
Oh, mate, love to hear that. Your reminiscent, reminiscent? Is that right? That's not right, is it?
It's like reminisce.
Yeah.
I think it's reminiscent.
Is it?
I think so.
Doesn't sound right, does it?
No, but I
Something
think it
doesn't
is.
sound right with it. I'm going to go with it anyway. Your reminiscent that you had then of your trophy like capture reminds me of my Sparking 01, dude. Like my Sparking 0 platinum is so gutting to watch because I lost the match that I won. That I got the platinum on, and so it's just me getting fucking smoked.
It just says you lose.
Yeah, it
platinum.
just says the image is like you lose, and I had been on such a win streak, and I knew it was my last one for the platinum, so I was like, I've got to make this look cool for the platinum video. So I knew, and I lost, and it was bad loss as well, and I was just like, fuck no, like
Posted
why?
that nowhere.
Yeah, that went.
Well, this one's a bit difficult for me because I haven't got the wealth of trophies that you have in terms of platinum. So I have a grand total, everybody, of 18 platinums. Now, for me, platinums, they don't hold the same value and the same goal as you guys. You seem to feed on platinums. You get off on getting a platinum. We've got our own kind of music throughout the podcast to do with platinums, and it's all down to your love for these achievements that you get within games. Now, for myself, I tend to reserve them for games that are those 10 out of 10 moments, and they're games that I love to replay. Now, I was looking back, and I don't think I've really got a necessarily difficult one, okay, in terms of a hard game to beat. But I did have to go back into the archive slightly to dig up this little beauty, right? Now, when the PS3 came out, I believe it was PS3, games and trophies were in its kind of infancy, okay? Now, you would get some games that included multiplayer within the game's platinum, okay? This wouldn't be separated out like it sometimes is now in more modern games. But this game in particular, I played on my own because no one else played this game at the time, and I don't think either of you boys would have ever touched this game. I'm talking about Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Okay. Now, I'm a massive Transformer nut. That is my vibe. That is something I've grown up on since I was a child, right? And I'm looking back on my trophy list, and this was a trophy, and I got the platinum in 2015. Okay. That's how long ago this platinum has been sat there. It's one of my first platinums that I ever achieved. And part of it is multiplayer. And those multiplayer trophies sucked ass to be able to do because I'm in there, right? The game's not meant to be a multiplayer game, right? The single player story game is beautiful, right? And it really plays homage to the legacy of the original Transformers and really ticks a lot of boxes from what I look for in a more modern adaptation of what I grew up around, right? And, you know, I still collect the models even today of the original sort of 80s models that came out from Hasbro. But this game, as I said, unfortunately, it had multiplayer elements, and I was playing solo. It was so difficult to dive in and achieve these trophies. It took me so long. And I remember just being over the absolute moon to achieve this. And I don't know why I went for it. It was a weird one for me. I think it was because it was a Transformer game, and I was like, Transformers, you know, I love Transformers. I've got to get the platinum for this. But that one's the one that probably was the hardest to get and probably brought me one of the most joyful feelings afterwards because I did actually achieve it. And the servers have since shut down. So it's a platinum now that you can no longer get. So it has that element of rarity towards a platinum, which I hear you guys often speak about. But I don't know what the percentages are sitting on when it comes to Fall of Cybertron. I'm expecting Spencer to pull up all those details in a second and tell me it's a very easy one. But for myself, I struggled with that one and I did achieve it. So I was very, very happy with that.
Mate, I'll tell you what, you're right that I'm pulling up some information, but you're wrong about how easy it is.
Oh.
So the first place I saw said it's a 6 out of 10. The next website I'm on says it's a 7 or an 8 out of 10. 60 hours, 1 to 3 playthroughs. So, mate, good graft on this.
There we go.
You just for the love of Transformers, mate.
That's what it is. For the love of Cybertron.
That's crazy.
Hey, it's well done, bro, for locking in. It is those things. I think, you know, even if they're not particularly like difficult to do, it's still an absolute graft when it comes to a multiplayer, especially when it was so much tacked on multiplayer back then.
Oh,
And PS3, it was a nightmare, and it was the destruction of so many trophy lists. There was I think it was a God of War game. It might be Ascension that had multiplayer. And that was bad. And I remember there being a Batman game that had multiplayer as well that had trophies tied to that, and that was fucking went nowhere. And it's just things like that that just ruin a trophy list. So well done for sticking it out and getting one done. No, great list, guys. Really happy with that. I hope that answers your question, Red CD. And so we should move on to the final question today. And he opened the show. He's going to end the show. Neb has written in. He says, I'd like to know why it's called the game that can't be named. Oh, well, it's actually the game that can't be mentioned. Or maybe what episode to go back and listen to. So.
One?
You haven't found out.
I think I have, but I want to have a guess for you boys. I'm not 100% on this. I read through some of the episode descriptions to kind of figure out when it would be. I think I've nailed it, but I'm certainly not going back and listening to this episode. When do you reckon? Do you want to take a guess?
It's got to be single figures, I think. It
No.
happened very early on, I think. I'm going to lowball it.
What are you going
think
for?
I'm going to go 9, episode 9.
What do you reckon, Spence?
Are we doing shots on this? Are we doing closest wins? What are we doing?
Well, I'd have to listen to the fucking episode, and I don't want it.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, fair enough. I think it's going to be episode 21. Fucking hell.
And the reason why, right, I've got the description, I pulled it off. So episode 6 was called Cyber Junk, and the description states, the usual 3-topic format has been broken. 2 massive topics to dive deep on, the Game Awards' big announcements and the controversy surrounding the event, Cyberpunk's horrendous launch. Davey, Phil and Spencer answer the audience's burning questions and try not to mention Death Stranding or Resident Evil for 1 episode. How did they do? Not well. Not well at all. So I think that episode is where we brought in the button that we can't talk about Resident Evil.
Potentially.
I think
sounds
that's the
good.
straw
Yeah.
that
Oh my
broke the
God.
camel's back.
6 episodes is all it took.
Yeah.
Didn't take us long, did it?
Oh my
No,
God.
because the episode after, I think it's the episode before or after, is one we did it's a Resident Evil showcase, and in the description of that one, it was like, we talk for even longer about Resident Evil than we do normally. So I got a feeling 6 where they broke the camel's back, and we're like, we can't mention it again with shots on. So the reason why it came about, Neb, for yourself, is because the early start of the show wasn't laid out like it is now. It's all happened kind of organically, how this show kind of runs and how it operates, with like the different segments and jingles, etc. and so on. It's all kind of just happened over the last run of 132 episodes. But it would just be a case that we were all so keen on Resident Evil that whenever something came up about it in any way, shape, or form, and I mean, it's so tangentially related to it, we would go off and it would be an hour conversation about some minute detail, about some minute Resident Evil thing that's related. Like, I think one of the things that kind of broke it was Tormented Souls was around about the same time, and next thing you know, it's going into a big diatribe about how it's similar to Code Veronica, and then you start going into, but I really like the twist in Code Veronica, and I really like the weapons in Code Veronica, and what about the hook shot? And then next thing you know, it's an hour and a half conversation about Code Veronica. So we made the decision as a podcast that we would punish ourselves for talking about it because we would just go off on it so much. And other games have come close to having their buttons put on. Metal Gear at one point was close to having a button put on it.
Yeah.
Death Stranding has
Joe
come
Thomas
very
keeps
close.
campaigning for Death Stranding because I keep thumbing it in when it's not needed. But it's just familiarity at the end of the day, I think. And in the early episodes, we very much relied on that, right? We told stories which we told many a time in the first 10 episodes, multiple times. And because you had just come off the back of a very successful solo YouTube channel, which sort of focused mainly on survival horror and Resident Evil, you jumped to that in most conversations, and we did because we were both very passionate about it. But your knowledge was so in depth at that point. Not that you've lost a lot of it because you're still very knowledgeable on Resident Evil. But at the time, you were just so hot on it, weren't you? So every conversation just went back to some experience that you had in Resident Evil. So yes, the first couple of episodes I would say are very unstructured. Conversations happened which maybe they shouldn't have, and they always ended in Resident Evil.
To be fair, I can put my hands up here and say this isn't my fault.
No,
because
it wasn't.
I
I don't
hadn't
think it
played.
was.
I hadn't played
No.
really any of them other than 5 and 6 when the button was introduced. So this was you boys, and then the other two
Yeah.
games that have almost had buttons are Metal Gear Solid. I don't give a shit. Death Stranding. I don't give a shit. This is just all you lads.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, 100% is, mate. 100% is.
yeah.
It's definitely all on us. And yeah, so there you go. So Neb, you're welcome to listen to episode 6 and let me know. I don't know when we would have introduced a jingle for it because jingles came in a lot later.
Yeah.
Jingles came in the
Was-
20s, I think.
Was the button before the jingles?
Well, we had Jingle Fever, didn't we?
Yeah,
And
that's our
Jingle
biggest-
Fever was
that's
like
the
our
second biggest,
biggest episode ever for some strange reason.
That's when we launched a lot of jingles
Yeah.
at that point. So I think we had a couple, but I think like Jingle Fever is when we had like a Google one. We had like loads of different ones.
Yeah.
And speaking of jingles, right? I've only played this jingle once, and we should have had it earlier because it was a perfect opportunity for it. But I realized it wasn't uploaded into our Riverside thing, so I'm going to play it now. It's one for the portal. There you go.
Aw.
We should have had that earlier.
One of the newer ones.
Yeah, brand new. It's been used like once. And there was a time when we were talking about Metal Eden, I was like, oh, I should have had that jingle ready to go because this is a perfect one to just put on the end of this conversation. But yeah, there you go, audience. Peek behind the curtain. If you got any other questions, then feel free to write into the Discord. That's where we're getting all our questions from. A couple of days before the episode, or generally the day of, or the day before, I'll reach out and ask the Discord audience to submit their questions. I normally provide a bit of a sneak preview into what's coming on the episode ahead. This time I didn't, because I was locked out of the dock for some reason. But go on in there, write your questions, and you could be featured. Thank you to everyone that's written in this episode. Really, really appreciate each and every single one of you. This has brought episode 132 to a close. There's a couple of ways you can support us if you've enjoyed the show. The first one is to make sure to go on to anywhere you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, anywhere else. Put a rating on. The ratings are climbing. We're staying on our 4.9 stars. So thank you, every single one of you that has done that. It really does help us. And it helps us be able to compare ourselves to the competition and see kind of how we're doing. And if you guys are enjoying it. So thank you to everyone that has done that already. If you're watching on YouTube, then the best way to support us is to put a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment as well. If there's any questions in there, we can include those in future episodes too. And finally, there is Spotify comments. I look after those. I really appreciate everyone that goes on and leaves a comment. It really does help with an algorithm. And the show's blown up at the moment. It's doing really, really well on all metrics. So thank you to every single one of you that's written in. It looks like 2026 is going to be our best year yet. And 2025 saw a 1,000% growth. So let's see where we end up this year, boys.
We're all pretty surprised, aren't we, of how
Yeah,
well
it's
it's
pretty
going.
good.
So it's hard not to have a big smile on our faces when we look at the stats. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for tuning in and putting up with us for 3.5 hours a week. I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't, but I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And the thing is, on the back end, we don't charge anything. We're not going to start a Patreon or anything like that. We just do this off our own back. Who knows where this will go in years gone by. But right now, we're just grateful to be here and you taking the time to listen to us. So thank you all ever so much. I've been Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.